working? I think it's working. Let me make sure I'm not listening to myself. Because I've been told that's cringe. Oh, maybe it's not working. Fascinating. It says I'm live, but I see nothing. Excellent. It's exactly what you want. Let's see. What do I want to do? Where do I want to go? Oh, I know what I was going to do. I was going to, like, get stuff. What's that? Yeah, we want to go here. Kill this guy. Boop, 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 boop. What's up? Thank you. Yeah, but I'm not seeing anything. My everything is frozen. Yay! Hey, Cam, what's up? Sorry, I had a song stuck in my head, so now I'm just like humming to myself. And the game is too loud, ever so slightly. I'm a professional. No, yeah, I had a song stuck in my head, so we're gonna be humming that all day. Good luck to everybody else. Hi, Subrip PTB. Sup, how you doing? Sorry, that's not how you pronounce your name. It's as good as you're getting today from me. All right, we're looking for the boss here because we want his sword. Hey, Calberly, how you doing? All right, let's see if we can kill this guy. I am not confident, but hey, I never am. So let's see here. Nope. Roar. Ow. I'm playing with the shield because I'm having a day. More CKY? Yeah, dude, I had it stuck in my head for the longest time, and I was having like a massive brain fart. I couldn't figure out who sang it. It's killing me. Haha! Vanquished. How you doing, Merklin? Got back from tour and finally still have a stream streak. Yeah. What did I do? What did I say? What's going on? Oh, thanks, Angel Beats. How's being alive? Overrated. Expensive. Fuck, like really really expensive, you know? Ugh. Why does my fingertip hurt? What did I do? Okay. Yeah, how are you guys? How's life for you? Oh yeah, no. My name is Ethan and my wife is Sarah. Yeah. Sorry, it can get confusing. It's like sometimes Sarah will show up in a stream, you know, my biannual stream. Sarah will show up and be like, who's the woman? Dude, are you not single? It's like, yeah, I have a wife. Like, what? Yeah, guess what? Oh. Hang on. No, where is the summon thing for haha? Okay, you get here, and then I don't have enough mana for you apparently now. Ow. That hurt. Missed. Got your teaching credentials in theater. That's awesome. Producing your own play at university? That's fun. Yeah, I know. I'm live. Haven't seen a temp below 20 Celsius in weeks. I wonder what's that in real temperatures. It's been on edge 40 degrees. I saw that France was in like the 50s. I think it said 55. And so I looked it up and apparently that's like 131, which is like that's just, I want to say unacceptable. You know? It's like, it's okay. Global warming's a hoax. We'll be fine. Let's see, look, the Arctic is going to melt and that's going to cool the rest of the planet down, right? That's how that works, right? France is at 44C. I know I can't remember what it's like 5/8 plus 32. It's some really weird formula. I don't have it in that. I don't have that in my head. Or like 8/5? I remember there's a 5 and an 8. India is in 50. I heard that India's just getting like absolutely hammered. 35 C or 95 Fahrenheit. That's not. I was born in LA, so like hot temperatures, I don't give a lot of sympathy. Now I'm in Colorado, you know, like I've experienced like minus 30. What those are in freedom units? Yeah. What are those in illiterate? I need your trinket. I'm only talking to you for trinket. You're working in hot stage lights, yeah. I mean, I understand the conversation as well as I'm going to, but I just know that everyone is only talking about how like Europe doesn't have air conditioning, and I don't know if it's a myth or what it is, but sorry, myth. I think I meant cope. But I know that there are people who say that like more people in Europe die from the heat than Americans do to gun violence, and I'm like, I need to see data on that. You know what I mean? Because that can't be true. And also like the not having AC part, like it also makes sense like I guess with historical buildings, but I'm like it's the 21st century. You know, new buildings are being built. I'm sure we can accommodate for all kinds of temperatures. Yeah, European infrastructure. Yeah, like everything I've ever heard is that European infrastructure is all about insulation because it gets cold for a long time. You don't have HVAC because you use it for 10 days a year. That's one reason, I guess. They're expensive, huh? Well, here's the thing, and this is the part that I don't understand, and go ahead and like crucify me if I'm just really wrong here. But if your buildings are built for insulating, right? Insulation does not privilege the hot or the cold. It just keeps things separate, you know? So I imagine that if you have a building that's built to retain heat, it will also be built to retain cold. And I imagine that air conditioning would actually be cheaper in those kinds of buildings than it would in America. Right? And that's the thing is like it's fucking hilarious that like you guys don't have air conditioning, but I do also hear about like people dying. Like I just read like a bunch of people in Paris died because they wanted to go into the river to stay cool and they like drowned. Like that shit sucks. I mean, you know, if it's like, again, I don't know how many of the buildings in Europe are like historically protected or whatever, but it's like, yeah, if you want to put HVAC into a building that does not have HVAC, you have to carve into the walls, and I imagine that'll get a lot of people upset. No, we're destroying Western civilization. Ah, yes, but people are dying, so yeah, I don't know. I could be wrong there. I've heard of similar complaints from friends I've had who've like gone to Japan and lived in Japan for a period where it's the exact opposite. There's no insulation in the buildings. And so if it's cold outside, it's cold inside, you know, and if it's hot outside, it's hot inside. And something about like kerosene heaters indoors and like huge carbon monoxide issues. I don't know. Like everybody's got something, right? I hear you. I want my bubble spell. Heh. I hear you, but I don't see you, and you have the bubble spell. I want you. Give it to me. Humidity is something I really struggle with. Like that's the thing is I've only lived in, I'm gonna say the word extremes, and everyone's gonna be like, no. But like I've only lived in extremes, right? So like in LA, you're at sea level. You're on the coast and it's hot all the time, right? Winter lasts for about 2 hours and it's just no matter where you go, it's always warm, right? Or whatever time of the year. In Colorado, you are at altitude, so it's constantly dry. And the winters, as far as I'm concerned, are really brutal. I know there's people in like Alaska that suffer more than me. Hey, Sarah, 63, how you doing? Like I know there's people who suffer more than me. You know, that's not what I'm trying to say. But like I've lived in those extremes, and so when people are like, "Oh, it's really humid," I'm like, "Is it like Florida humid? Like what? what constitutes human? And then people start throwing percentages out at me, and I'm like, oh no, I have no framework for this. I'm so sorry. Are you? Oh no, this is a red one. You're not what I'm looking for. Stable temperatures in the 70s, yeah. No, my family was in the shitty part of LA. And I know people are gonna be like, that doesn't specify it. It's like, there's definitely a shitty part of LA. We live there. Too much pizza for dinner, no such thing. I remember a while ago there was some sort of study or something like that where there was like a food science group that made like the perfect pizza, and it was like, it has all of your macronutrients, and I was like, thank God we're finally going to be able to have pizza for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And it's like, East LA, the butthole of LA. Yeah, no, how do I put this? I spent a lot of time in the valley. How's that? Their asphalt melting? Holy fuck. I've seen and heard stories of people in Australia having the soles of their shoes melt to the pavement. I've heard of that. So, I mean, yeah. Okay, 0 degrees Celsius of air can hold 5 milliliters of water per cubic meter. Okay. 20 C of air can hold 15 milliliters of water per cubic meter. Oh, it goes up by cubes. That makes sense. Oh, that's got to be a bitch to calculate. Okay. German motorways are combusting. That reminds me of the story of Disneyland. I don't know if you guys know about this, but you know, Walter Disney, being the man that he was, yeah, he rushed Disneyland. I don't know if he rushed Disneyland or they had like production problems. Something went wrong, but like the day one of Disneyland sucked. It was a video game in early access, so to speak, and the sidewalks hadn't finished setting, and all of the women who were walking around in high heels complained of their heels sticking in the ground. The fun little story. Disallow trucks on certain roads. Okay, so when you say the weather's screwing up infrastructure, you mean like actual roads. I thought it was going to be like, oh no, people are getting hot and so they're like staying at home or something like that. That's awful. I wonder if Central, I almost said Central Asia for some reason. I wonder if Central Europe is reaching the wet bulb limit. That would be scary, because I mean, that's one thing about Colorado that's kind of freaky, is that like in a really serious emergency situation, like any native born Coloradoan knows about like a terracotta pot over a tea candle. You know, they know about making a warm room with blankets and insulating windows and doors. Everyone in Canada knows about vacuum sealing their windows for the colder months. You know, like these are things that just everybody knows. And I imagine if it hits the wet bulb temperature where it's so hot and humid that sweat doesn't break off, people like they'll see a massive spike in heat strokes in emergency rooms. Buses don't have air conditioning. That's a weird one. Can't do anything. It's just so hot. Yeah. Our Ride the Cyclone. I have not heard Ride the Cyclone. I'm sorry. I've been kind of living under a rock for this year. You know. So sorry. Yeah. The buses have AC, but the fuckers don't turn it on. That to me feels like a health hazard. You know, like when you're in like a concert hall, when you have like hundreds, if not thousands of people, there's an expectation that you're accounting for, you know, 1,000 candles all burning at roughly 100 degrees Fahrenheit, right? Like in Fahrenheit, body temperature is 98.6. I remember that because of Osmosis Jones. I think it's 36 something Celsius. And so it's like if you have that many candles burning at that temperature, you just have to cool it down. Thanks, Ryan. If you can message that to me on like Twitter, or if you can like tag me on Blue Sky, it will help me remember to check it out, ride the Cyclone. 110 in that thing. Yeah, I mean, you know, Sarah and I have been together for a long time, and once upon a time we were in an apartment in college where we met, and we didn't have air conditioning in that apartment, but we were broke college students and we were kind of desperate. And if you've ever lived in a college town, everybody there knows that college students are desperate, and so those are where some of the shittiest landlords live, and that's fucking saying something, right? And so we lived without AC, and you know, it got hot to the point where like I couldn't do things on my laptop because my laptop would overheat. Got to the point where I would start like wrapping up my laptop and putting it in the freezer to cool it down. You know, trying to like keep out the condensation but lower the temperature. Body taps out at 86 degrees. Yeah, man. I mean, like that's the thing is like in LA, I keep saying, holy shit. Internet help desk with 5 tier 1s. Thank you so much. Oh my god, I really appreciate that. You didn't have to do that. Thank you a million. Oh my god, everybody say thank you and say hi. Thank you, internet help desk. Oh, okay, all right. Well, thank you for showing up, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah. Oh, and aloe vera, aloe alvera with a prime. Thank you very much. You guys are awesome. You don't have to sub. I really appreciate it. You guys. Man, we have the best community. I know every content creator is like, oh my god, we have the best community. Now give me things. But like, no, you guys are like really, really cool. You know. I mean, this is one of the reasons. I mean this. This is one of the reasons I like streaming on Twitch as opposed to the few times I've streamed on YouTube, because like, I feel like there's a point when you're streaming where you can no longer talk to individual people and it turns into, hey chat, what's going on? You know, like everybody sort of gets lumped up together into one mass. And so like seeing each individual guy or girl, otherwise, you know, whatever you are, seeing everybody here like one at a time, it's really cool. I really dig it, you know? Yeah, so thanks. You guys fucking rule. All right, let's see if I can take this guy on. I don't think so. Nope. Hey, third time's the charm. I think I can do this. No. You're fine moving between units. The thing is like, you know, even though it's hot, people have to work. And you know, you have people doing hard manual labor landscaping in 100-degree weather, and it's one of those things where it's like you have to be prepared for it. You have to be dressed for it. You have to have the right hydration. My cousins are very athletic. They are both professional athletes. Well, two of my cousins are, right? And you know, they would practice in 100-degree weather. It was just a thing that they had to deal with. And it's gallons of water. You know, it's a cooler full of just water for one person, and all of their athletic wear had salt stains from their sweat. You know, it's something you have to deal with. It's something you have to acclimate to. It's like when you see NFL players who aren't properly dressed for the cold when they come to Colorado. You know, it's just one of those things. Haha! I attacked you in your taint. One more. There we go. But yeah, no, you have to get acclimated. And so like that's the thing, right? And this is like you know, let me land. Don't clip this out of context or anything. But like, you know, you watch South Park, and they make fun of like Mexican culture. Obviously, it's fucking South Park, right? But they're like, oh yeah, you know, like sleeping in the middle of the day. Oh, having a siesta. Ha 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 ha. But it's like, dude, it gets to like 130 in the middle of the day in Mexico, right? Especially the farther south you go and you get closer to the equator. That's hot. That's really fucking hot. And so like, it completely makes sense to be like, dude, it's too hot. We can't do this. Like, let's take a minute. We'll sit in the shade, hydrate, quick nap, you know, sleep through the hottest time of day where it's nice and warm and we can be cozy. And then we'll get back to it once it starts getting, yeah. Siestas are incredibly needed. Absolutely. Absolutely. It totally makes sense. But then because you nap in the middle of the day, and because as the sun sets, it gets cooler and more like, what's the word I'm looking for? More, not appropriate, more comfortable, right? Less, less unbearable as it becomes more bearable, right? It's like, well, yeah, of course you're going to want to get more stuff done. And so then you have, so then you have, you know, in Mexican culture, you have, okay, we're going to nap for 2 to 3 hours in the middle of the day, but then we're going to stay up until like 11 o'clock at night. And we can do that because, you know, the sleep is slightly different. And then they come to the States, and then there's this cross-culturation, and then, you know, you get South Park doing the whole, you know, then you have Schrodinger's immigrant, right? Stealing all the benefits and the good jobs, but too lazy to work. And it's like, dude, come on. But yeah, no, those kinds of things always fascinated me. Where you have like, cross wires, culturally speaking. And but yeah, no, but like when it specifically comes to heat, and that, I mean, it just, yeah. Ooh, what's a hype chest? Sorry. Open hype chest. Button mash emote. Share. Choo choo. All right. I don't know what that is, but we got a thing, I think. All right, hang on. There's a shield up here that I want. 20C is tropical. 25C is extremely tropical. Yeah. Now, does tropical as a climate, does that just mean temperature, or does that also include like humidity and weather patterns? I thought it included like weather patterns, right? Because like 100 degrees in Colorado is not the same as 100 degrees in Florida, right? Like 100 degrees in Florida, you're going to take a shower in the morning and you don't dry like for the rest of the day. But in Colorado, if it hits 100, you know, you're desiccated, right? Well, that's the other thing is, like, I know because of the weather, people have been talking about how we're supposed to have like a really, 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 really bad El Nino this year. Or we're currently in the middle of the bad it's supposed to be really, really bad El Nino, or in the middle of a really bad El Nino. The temperature at night specifically, is the temperature at night more stable? I mean, I don't know how it is over there, but like, we do highs and lows. So it'd be like, oh, it's a high of such and such and a low of such and such, and that's kind of like the range. The American term is sultry night. Well, I hate to be that guy, but I've never heard that term in my life. It sounds provocative. Ooh, the night is sultry. It won't stop hitting on me. Oh my god. Ryan Fox with the 5 tier 1s? Holy shit, thank you. It's so cool of you. Thank you very much. Oh my god, I have to start doing stuff to thank you guys, because it's so cool that you guys are gifting subs. Like, it's incredibly generous. But I have to start doing stuff. Cause Sarah and I watch like Burnt Peanut at night, and he's like, "Ah, sheesh, good lad, you die," you know, that kind of shit. I'm like, I don't know. I need to fucking do something. Oh, but thank you, Ryan. That's very kind of you and very generous. I appreciate that. All right. Oh wow, this is just better. This is just a better shield. Okay, cool. I know everyone's like, dude, you're using armor, you're using a shield, you're supposed to roll. I'm like, dude, I'm having a day and I don't care. I don't care. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, but I don't give a shit. Yeah, thanks again, Ryan. It's really, really fucking cool of you, man. All right. Oh. I want to equip our bubbles. Let's see. Can we equip our bubbles that we got? Memorize spell. We don't have enough memory slots. I know where we can find one. Most recent Deltarune chapter. I don't know shit about Deltarune. I talked about Undertale for about 30 seconds once in a video that is long gone across several channels, and I will not go near it again. Like, I won't go near Undertale. I won't go near pop music. I won't go near anything that gets touched by the Billboard 100. I don't go near. And then like Hans Zimmer, I won't go near. And I've started, like I'm not quite there, but I'm starting to get hesitant on Andrew Lloyd Webber, and it is explicitly because of the communities. Like, I don't have a problem dealing with like copyright. I can be very patient, and my Patreon or my patrons on Patreon are extremely patient, like extremely patient. But holy fuck, dude, it's like, you want to talk about like jazz is the other one I won't talk about, because I mean the community, like, and not just like the community, but specifically the online community fucking sucks. It's just so hostile, so fucking hostile. Yeah. It's, I mean, like I see, this is the thing, right? Like, I don't want to dip a toe in, you know what I mean, and like say something that's gonna get clipped and then sent to somebody, be like, oh my god, did you hear that he said this about you? And I'm like, but you know, there are some content creators out there that have extremely animated communities surrounding them, both for and against their content. And so the thing is, it doesn't matter if you agree with them, it doesn't matter if you disagree, it doesn't matter if you do something in the middle where you're not quite fence sitting, but you're like trying to like dismantle their argument and be like, this stuff good, this stuff bad. They just tear you apart. It's not worth it. Be countered, bitch. Haha. Be countered. This is way too easy. Heal yourself up. I'm having fun. Oh my god. Oh my god. I have to actually heal. Okay. Wait, no, I'm having a lot of fun doing like no work. Ha! Oh my god. Man, shields really make this game just like trivial. I almost sounded like Kermit. Be countered, bitch. Just bullying him. It's like, yeah, come on, hit me. Come on, try it. But yeah, no. It is very much a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation. There's it. I don't even know. I don't even know how to like put it into words. But it's just not worth it. Like that's like one of the things. Like, oh, do you want to talk about video games? It's like, yes, I love video games. Like, video game music is actually the reason I went to like college to be a composer. The video game community is like mean, right? Just in general, you know how it is. They're mean. But in particular, like the JRPG, just no, go home. And then like if you like try to talk about like a multiplayer game like League of Legends or Valorant, just pack your shit up. It's not worth it. And then a similar thing is anime. You know what I mean? Oh, dude, I could not do the wrestling community. That's the thing. There's two biotech people in this chat. You own an Eppendorf pen? That's cool. Your Honor, League of Legends, jail, immediately jail. The ones who really scare me, the ones that like sincerely scare me, where I'm like, ooh, I flew too close to the sun. They're the Disney adults, right? Because like there's a massive silent majority of people who are like, yeah, musical movies are a lot of fun. You know, like the Seth MacFarlane Family Guy, like, yeah, this is it. The musical numbers are fun. Musicals are fun. Musical movies are fun. Yay, Sound of Music. You know, like that kind of thing. And I feel like that's where like a lot of my views come from. Is like a lot of people who are just like, yeah, this is nifty. You know, this is nice. It's neat, right? But every so often I'll bump into a Disney adult, and these are the people who like have lifetime passes and they go to the parks every day. Now what you heard was, oh, they go to the park like once a week. No, they go to the park every day. Their whole life is the park. Their schedule revolves around when merchandise drops and when they have new food items, when there's some celebration. It's these crazy, like I saw one, and it was this mom, and she's homeschooling her kids, which red flag, right? And she's homeschooling them at the parks. So they're just like sat on some grassy patch at Disney World, at like the Magic Kingdom, and she's like, that's their school time, and then they go to one of the restaurants and that's where they eat. Like they fucking live there. So, yeah. It's, oh no, it's extremely unhealthy. And that was the other thing, is like, everyone was like, oh my god, you know, Undertale's so good, Undertale's this, Undertale's that. And what was it? It was Undertale and it was something else. I want to say it was Hamilton. I think it was Hamilton, where the community was so vocal that the community was so vocal and so, I don't want to say malicious, volatile, outspoken, that it just ruined the experience for me. You know, like I couldn't just sit down and be like, oh, okay, let's finally see what this is all about. Like I knew everything that happened in Undertale. I knew everything that happened as a consequence of like the pacifist versus non-pacifist run. I had already heard every single musical number in Hamilton multiple times, you know, before it eventually got to Disney Plus, and Sarah and I sat down and watched it. Yeah. I mean, you know, so like, yeah, it just ruined it for me. So here's the thing. I feel like Epic the Musical would have been a similar story, but that's like right before that was when I was like, okay, I need to go on like I need to start setting some boundaries here, because this is insane. Haha! Anything you can do, sir? Now what? One more time. This build is broken. Yeah, I mean, I have a hard time when it comes to Disney adults, because like I remember I remember COVID. Well, everybody remembers COVID, but I remember during COVID, there was a point where like the parks reopened and people were going to the parks and they were like immediately breaking down in tears. And everyone was like, oh my god, it's a Disney adult, this and that, and blah, 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 blah. But there's also an element of like, I mean, if you're like a fan, not even like a fair weather fan, like if you're a big Disney fan, but you're not one of these like I live at the parks kind of people, but you're like, you live in Anaheim and you go to the park like once every 4 months or something like that, and I don't know, you have family that used to work there or something. You know, that makes sense. But then also like having that park open is like a symbol of like returning to normal, you know, and like I could see that breaking somebody down, you know, in like a healthy, non-obsessive way, you know. So yeah, I mean, like, it's, I hate saying it is what it is, but like the thing with these fandoms is that there's almost like a theological love of the property, I guess you want to say, the product, I think is more accurate, where it's like no, this is absolute and correct and it cannot be altered in any way, shape, or form. You know, the whole conversation around what is and is not canon. And it's just such a brain drain. You know what I mean? It takes everything out of me. Legend of Zelda and Final Fantasy, like that's the thing, is like it'd be like, which one would I want to talk about and why? Ow. Get blocked. Encountered. Uh-oh. You're supposed to be easy. The other thing is, like, I feel like a lot of the analysis around Final Fantasy has already happened, and there's been a lot of analysis on The Legend of Zelda. You know what I mean? I've played like half an hour of Final Fantasy VI. I never had access to Final Fantasy VI growing up, but I've played it a very small amount. But I am intimately familiar with the music in Final Fantasy VI. I've heard many people talk about 6 being Nobuo Uematsu's magnum opus. I've heard that. Because I know that there's a lot of leitmotivic manipulation and like actual genuine leitmotivic mutation, which is, I can say this now, literally my area of study. That's a part of what I got my master's in. Oh, dude, Kingdom Hearts. Man, when Kingdom Hearts 2 came out, I was like a massive fan. Dude, those games don't make any fucking sense. What the hell is going on? Right? Like, I don't know how the hell you're supposed to... Like, it... I mean, I don't want to jinx myself, because you guys know about the jinx. Okay? Everybody here knows about the jinx. Right? I don't want to jinx myself. There is a video that someone may have outlined once upon a time about Kingdom Hearts and the Kingdom Hearts series. That might have happened at some point. I'm not saying it. But basically how Kingdom Hearts reflects like a very, very specific tradition, operatic tradition in European history. So I mean, the issue, okay, so the issue with it is the same issue that I'm having with the script that I had to cut a bunch of stuff out last night, and so now we're playing an easy build in Elden Ring. Is like there's no easy way to talk about it, but just like the political environment, right? There's I'm gonna be very fence city here. There's a lot of Eurocentric fanatics out there who like to think that because something's European, it's immediately good. And I'm like, hey, other things can also be good. And when I see other people say, hey, other things can be good, they get crucified. They get barbed wire enemas. And that's not something I'm interested in. It's something that makes me really jealous of people who like have a community or like a network where like they can like make a stand and then they know they're gonna have a good half dozen people have their backs. But it's you have opinions different from mine? Jail. Immediately jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Yeah. Oh, Nellamellum, did you look up oh god. What's his name? Doug Adams. Sorry. Did you see Doug Adams' complete guide to the music in the Lord of the Rings for your dissertation? And what was your dissertation for, like a master's program, a doctoral program? Oh. Sir, thank you. Alfred Schnittke. I have heard of him. I've maybe heard of like one or two pieces. I haven't studied in depth. I'll say that much, right? Legend of Heroes franchise. I've never heard of that. Hang on. Legend of Heroes. Legend of Heroes and Legend of Heroes. No. Part of the Dragon Slayer series. I have never. Oh, is this? Nope. I don't know what this is. Huh. I'll have to look into that. That's pretty cool. Testament of Anli. I'm gonna look at that too. I need to put the chat up on the screen and figure out how to do that so that people can see what I'm copying and trying to read. I have seen that Raptor and it scares me that people are citing me. I hope they're also. I hope they're like. I hope that one, very very thankful that people are like citing me in essays and papers and things like that. But I also hope that they consult scholarly sources as well. I like to do my best, you know, but you know, I'm one dude and I can make mistakes, you know. Ooh, you interviewed Doug Adams. That's cool. Huh. Project Hail Mary soundtrack. I need to see that movie. I keep seeing TikToks of the little rock dude, and I'm like, oh no. Oh no. I love him. I hope he's okay. So yeah, so I need to see that movie. I definitely need to see that movie. That and then Avatar 3 just came to Disney Plus. So I was really excited to see Avatar 2. We're talking blue Avatar, not the good Avatar, right? So so I was really excited to see Avatar 2, and I was a schmuck. I paid money to see it at home, right? And it sucked. You know, it was ass. And and so when Avatar 3 came out, I was like, I want to see it. But it's personal now, so I'm going to wait for it to be free. So now it is free, so that's probably what Sarah and I are going to do sometime this weekend. But right now, the big crisis in our life. Oh, hold on. I'll get to that. Daniel Pemberton. Fucking love Daniel Pemberton. He's great. Did Pemberton do Hail Mary? And also, Raptor Russ 77. If you can let me know, because if anybody's like giving me shout outs in their videos, I like to reach out to them and be like, hey, thanks. This is really cool of you. I appreciate it. You know, I like actually reaching out to people. You know what I mean? LMM's octet. Is that Lin-Manuel Miranda? Lin-Manuel Miranda did an octet? I'll have to check it. Yeah, blue avatar and Eurocentrism. Exactly. It's Eurocentrism, but then also like white savior, you know. A lot of the political stuff like white savior and literary theory and feminist theory, a lot of that I'm not as sharp on, just because like, you know, my master's is in music theory, and in music theory applied in a very specific way, you know. And that's something I get really insecure about with my videos, because I'm like, I don't want to be accidentally playing for the wrong team here. You know what I mean? Am I going to review the Wicked movies at any point? Interesting that you should say that. That's very interesting that you should say that. That's an interesting thought. That's a very interesting observation. Those Wicked movies, man. You know what? Huh? I definitely saw both of them, and of every movie I've seen, those two movies were movies that I have seen. You know? I'll say this though, dude, and like I understand that there's a lot of complications around body shaming and everything. Everybody's finally talking about it, but like people noticed since like the first movie, like I think we need to kind of like maybe put Ariana Grande on some sort of medical hold. I'm not going to sit here and play like armchair doctor or armchair psychiatrist or anything like that, but everything I've seen is a person who needs help, and I'm seeing a lot of other people say that too. You know what I mean? Oh shit, Irish Husky, thank you. If you guys can like tweet at me or like blue sky me, or like my DMs are open, and I say this all the time. Like if you have like music questions, but you're like, I don't want to ask them in public because I'm worried that they're gonna make me look dumb, because I know exactly how that feels. Like, by all means, DM me and I'll get back to you. They sure are a couple movies. Not only are there a couple movies, but they are a couple of movies that people watched, you know? Yeah, Calypso, I agree with you. It's there's it's such a hard situation in so many ways, right? Cuz um well, let me put it to you this way, right? I know what was it? I think it was Rachel Zegler. Was it Rachel Zegler? Somebody, a celebrity on some red carpet, brought up watching like a 4-hour YouTube video essay. And this was right after Defunctland had put out a 4-hour video essay. So everyone was like, oh my God, they're watching Defunctland. And so in my head, it's like, fuck, I don't want somebody. Let me make sure I word this as properly as I can. I don't want somebody who is suffering to stumble across something that I had a hand in and having that thing exacerbate or like trigger whatever issue they are suffering from. So if there was somebody who was suffering from some sort of disordered eating situation and they stumbled across my stream going, oh, okay, here's, the music idiot playing Elden Ring. This will be a nice way to relax. And then you bring that up and then they're like, oh my God, I'm super anxious. Oh my God, I feel terrible. I'm going to go and, cope with this stress the only way I know how to. I don't want to be a part of that. You know what I mean? So, sorry guys, I'm a music theory dude, like massive softy here. So, like wherever she is and whatever she's dealing with, I hope she can get through it. Valid Emotions, that is a great name for a great comment. She's been dealt a very rough hand. Started as a child actress, and I know that people have I know that there's been criticism because of her dating habits and things like that, which I mean, like, it's a part of the mix, or it's like, yes, you were dealt a bad hand, but at what point is it kind of like, hey, we all need to take responsibility for our actions? And then that just adds on to all the other stress. So I definitely feel for her, I also know that Wicked was her sort of passion project, and she was a huge advocate for it. And so for it to be like completely snubbed at the Oscars and to be received in a really lukewarm fashion have all been hard on her. And yeah, that's rough. It's rough. Yeah. Yep. And then, I mean, that's the other thing is it's like, it's the fucking internet, right? It's everything we were talking about where like people are so hostile. People are so angry. Like so many people just see a name on a screen and they're not like, oh, this is a person. Oh my God. Like this is a problem that I have with like certain Twitch streamers, like especially educational or not educational ones, sorry, political ones, right? Is like political streamers are constantly under attack. It's kind of it's almost their job. Like I don't want to say it is their job because that's not fair. But they are constantly under attack as a consequence of being a political streamer, right? Okay, well, never seen her go up a wall before. And I mean, constantly being surrounded by that much harassment, that much anger, right? And that many bad faith arguments, I completely 1000% understand, like seeing somebody asking a question, then just like going off being like, screw you, fuck you and your family, you're this, you're that, blah, blah, blah. Like, I get it. I do. But if I put on my teaching cap, if I put on like my tutor cap, not the the European royal family, but like the teaching assistant cap, and I'm like, hey, here's something you don't understand, and it's actually kind of harmful. So let's patch this wall up in your head. You know what I mean? And I feel like there are a lot of political, because there are sometimes I'm watching a political streamer and they're they're talking about something and they are completely convinced they're right, and like all 90,000 people in their chat are convinced they're right, and I'm just sitting there like, can somebody put on subtitles? I'm not smart enough for this, you know? Yeah, yeah. Like on one hand, echo chambers, but then on the other hand, like it just like not paranoia. I guess like threat assessment might be a way where it's like you constantly feel like you're under attack, and it's like if you spend your entire life studying this thing, you might genuinely just be picking up people who are struggling, and that's like I see that all the time in my crowd, right? Like I'm not gonna sit here and start talking about like Shinkurian analysis and airsats and the fucking or ersats, sorry, and the base arpeggiation and different types of ornamentation. I'm not going to talk about different species of counterpoint and that kind of thing, because it's going to get really heady and it's going to get really confusing. But there are some things that I can't talk about without bringing those things up, and when I do that, it directly conflicts with a lot of very loud and very popular content creators. And so it's like, if I'm going to do that, it's going to come off as hostile, and I'm going to have to sit down and explain all of that in order for it to make sense. And in the midst of all of that, there's just going to be a lot of shit throwing. You know what I mean? Yeah. How would dating SpongeBob benefit her career? Dude, when I found out she was dating SpongeBob, that really fucking threw me. That it happened on Earth that I'm living on, which is different. Couldn't believe that. And then every time, like, it's so weird because every time I see SpongeBob, I think his name is Ethan Slater. I'm pretty sure his name is Ethan just because there aren't very many Ethans. But oh god, we were just talking about this. Who was the other guy? It was Ethan Slater and John Mulaney, dudes who like knocked up and then left their wives. Yeah, or shortly after baby. Yeah, that's a tough one. But anyway, every time we see Ethan Slater, like we just finished, what did we just finish? We finished Gen Z. And, we just finished Gen Z. And spoilers, he's in the second season. And we were just like, oh my god, it's SpongeBob! Oh, like we thought Tom Kenny? No. Okay. So now I gotta kill Radon to get to the goober to do the thing. And that's where the mimic tier ash is. Do I want to do that? I do want to keep on going with Ronnie's quest. Do I? Or do I just want to go to the capital? If I want to go to the capital, I could just kill Godric. God. This would be easier if I wasn't so fucking stupid. Okay. Yeah, Broadway. Gen V. So, did I say Gen Z? God damn it. Gen V. Yeah, Gen V. It's a spin-off of The Boys. That one's on me, guys. My bad. Yeah. The other thing is, and again, don't crucify me for this one either. I kind of want to like go to Broadway and see Daniel Radcliffe on stage, because I know that he's been like rocking it, being like a stage performer on Broadway. Ow. Yeah, people say he's good. I know he won a Tony. I know he won one. I don't know how many others he won. I missed the Tonys this year. I don't know how. I just did. Ooh, True Crimson with the Prime. Thank you so much. Sir, are you poisoned yet? Oops. Ow. Just the one? Hey, man, that's one more than I have. You know. Yeah, good for him. Okay, that's got to get you poisoned, right? Hey, you're poisoned. Damn it. God, shit. I've not seen Swiss Army Man. I've not seen other than Harry Potter, I haven't really seen him in like anything. Thank you again, True Crimson. That's really nice of you for the Prime. Let's see if I can dodge the flames. Hey, I did it. I have not seen the recent Avatar the Airbender movie. Is it the live action one where the kid's like 16? Haha. I shielded the earthquake and I missed. Pleasantly surprised. Everything I've heard says that he's got it. You know, he's doing it, which good for him. Good, and I mean that. That's the Netflix show. Is the movie the one that got leaked? The animated one where they're all adults? I did not see that. Do I have my... Yes, I do. Yeah, the one that got leaked I did not see. Yeah, there's a movie coming out in October. I definitely did not see that. I also heard it was good. That's an unfortunate situation though if you're one of the people who worked on it. Netflix last Airbender is ass. Okay, I believe it. Oh God, I just found this out yesterday, and I have one of those moments where I'm like, okay, how detached from reality am I? Right? I just found out that the Daily Wire, which is Ben Shapiro's thing, they're doing movies and TV shows. They're doing the Netflix thing, but they're like only making their own stuff. Is that right? I haven't looked into this at all. I just saw, like, Sarah and I were just flipping through Twitch last night and I saw that. Yeah, they are. I saw it, and I saw some of the stuff that they were producing, and I was like, they have Rip-Off Bluey. Okay. One of their movies is basically good kid with a gun saves everyone from bad kid with a gun. Damn. I wonder what the metaphor is. Oh my God. All right, let's just ask it. What color are the kids? Just be honest. Just be honest. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh. Morbid Zoo. Hang on, let me write. I'm writing down these recommendations as much as I can, guys. But like, I don't get them all, and if I don't, I need you to like send them to me so that I can. Oh, you think they're all white? Oh, okay. Well, I mean, fine. I have thoughts. I have thoughts on that. Damn. It's what? Oh my God! What is it? Is it The Office? Was it The Office or was it Community? Oh my God! I can't remember. What was the show where they're doing like improv comedy and they're like, oh yeah, a gun always makes the scene better? Was that The Office? It's Always Sunny. I don't think It's Always Sunny because I remember Steve Carell. I think it was The Office. Is it? Yeah, it's The Office. No, yeah. That's what it reminds me of. It's just like, hey, what if we just added a gun? Oh, Raptorus, we were watching the same stream. What were we watching? Carolyn Kwan. That's what we were watching. Shout out to Carolyn Kwan, who does not need a shout out from me. But if you haven't checked her shit out, go check it out. She's got some pretty cool stuff. Let's see. Where is the tower? I think it's right here. Community with the water guns, something like that. Yeah. Thank you, Ryan, for the blue sky tag. I really do appreciate it. Ask my wife. If it doesn't go on the calendar, it doesn't exist. It's my wife. Everything that I've heard about Jonathan Majors, everything, how do I like, again, I want to word this like carefully, right? Everything I've heard about Jonathan Majors ranges from he's an asshole who's impossible to work with to he physically assaulted somebody, you know? It's a wide range, but that's what I've heard. What's true or not, I don't know, but I've unfortunately not heard anything positive about him. And what I do know is that he lost the Kang role for Marvel as a consequence of his actions. Which, I mean, it's like, if you beat somebody up, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Oh, what's up? He's still in it, saving pro-Palestinian college protesters from the radical Muslims that compromise most of the group, and specifically save the women from them. What the fuck did I just read? Holy shit. You know, okay, so hear me out, right? And let me land, because this is going to sound weird. There's a part of that, there's a level of hypocrisy there that I absolutely love, right? Where, you know what I mean when I say, like, illiterate illiterate people, the kind of people who have clips of them struggling to read at a 5th grade level, right? The one thing they have complained about since time began, since our physical reality began to exist, is that everything is so political now. Oh my god, there's a woman on the cover, it's political. Oh my god, there's somebody who's not white on the cover, it's political. And then when they make a movie, it's good kid with gun kills bad kid with gun. It's pro-Palestinian protesters and all kinds of religious tensions or something. It's just like, dude, how like, you didn't have a problem with it being political, you had a problem with it not being your politics. Hold on. That's not the same. That's different. I think he's fibbing. You know what I mean? That's... I've heard very mixed things about the live action One Piece. I've heard some people say it's really cool. I've heard some people say that it is the opposite of really cool. And there's a lot of noise surrounding the conversation, so it makes it a little bit difficult to figure out what's actually going on. Let's see here. We want to get the Great Rune. Oh god, I'm gonna have to click that link, aren't I, Raptorus? Oh, it's from Discussing Film? I love that account. They fucking got everything. The live action One Piece is good. I'll have to see it. One Piece and Naruto are like the two anime where I was like, well, you know, they're just that and Dragon Ball. They're obscenely popular, right? And in order to be that popular, especially with a Western audience, they have to be easily accessible. And so I got like 100 episodes into Naruto, and I got like 40 episodes into One Piece, and then I found out what filler episodes were, and I was like, oh, this sucks. Yeah, like that's when I found out about the whole filler thing and all that wasted time and effort on characters that were never going to come back and all that kind of stuff. The other thing is, like, I've also had a lot of it spoiled just because it's fucking everywhere, right? But I do know that there's some sort of like Drums of Liberation that Luffy summons, and I'm like, okay, like this could be cool. It could be very not cool, but it could be cool. See, I wonder if there are any anime out there where the filler's actually better than the manga. So the Drums of Liberation is a specific piece. Okay. Okay. Got into episode 750. Holy fuck. 750 episodes. Each episode's 20 minutes. So divide it by 3, you get the hours. So that's 225 hours divided by 24 for days. You spent roughly 100 days without sleeping or eating watching One Piece. That is crazy. That's dedication. I wish I loved something as much as I love that, as you love that. I mean it. So many people are really cynical, like, oh my god, you're wasting so much time, and it's like time enjoyed is not time wasted, you know. And like I get a similar. Let me fucking land, right? I get a similar jealousy around furries, right? Where it's like, man, it doesn't matter what's going on. You guys are really into this, and you have a community, and no matter where you go, it's like, do you like music? There's furry music. Do you like Star Trek? There's furry Star Trek. Do you like, And I was like, damn, and that new Star Fox just came out. So you guys are, you guys are winning, So like, I get jealous of that sometimes. We're like, damn, I wish I had something I love that much. Or at least I wish I had something that I loved with that much of a community, or that strong of a community, I think is a better way to put it. Yeah. Witch Hat Atelier. I feel like I've heard of that. The one, whenever we start talking about anime, the one anime that I always think of, I'm going the wrong way, I'm not going the wrong way, I'm going the right way. The one anime I think of is the Euphonium anime, because my composition professor in undergrad was a trombonist, right? And so just so you guys know, like in brass instruments, you have to discern between straight bore and conical bore, right? So a trumpet is a straight bore. If you unfold a trumpet, the tube is straight. But a cornet is basically a trumpet with a conical bore. So if you unfold a cornet, it's a cone, right? Dun dun. There you go. And so the thing is when you have these two different instruments that are more or less in the same range, one tends to be straight, one tends to be conical. Conical has a warmer sound, straight has a more crisp sound, I guess I want to say. And then the other one is how many of what kind of valves do they have, right? Because they have trumpets and cornets with piston valves like you normally see, but then some also have rotary valves like you see with a French horn, right? And so everyone's just like, I'm pretty sure euphoniums are straight bore, but I know that trombones are straight bore. And so like the only difference between a trombone and a euphonium functionally is the valves, which make it easier to pick up. Wait, is a euphonium straight bore? I used to know this. Oh, the euphonium's a conical bore. That's right. So it's like euphonium is a conical bore, trombone is a straight bore, trumpet is a straight bore, cornet is a conical bore, French horn is a conical bore, and then tuba is a straight bore. I know that tuba and mellophone are the same bore. Tubas are conical. I think there's some marching instrument that's in that range that's straight bore. Baritones are cylindrical, euphoniums are conical. There you go. But no. So it's like, other than the conical bore, they're in the same range, they play the same notes, and they are, one's valved, one's the slide, right? Obviously. But the thing is that like you can learn which valves are associated with which slide positions. And so a trombonist can pick up a euphonium, but euphonium players are gonna have a harder time picking up a trombone. And my professor liked to bring that up whenever we talked about euphoniums, and he hated euphoniums. And so whenever I look at the euphonium anime, I hear like a dozen and a half euphonium jokes in the back of my head. I did like I was like a guest speaker, I guess. A professor invited me to talk to their like marketing class, and one of the kids walked in. I say kids, this was college, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm a euphonium player," and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Instinctively, just because that's the kind of shit that we would say in undergrad, I was like, "Wait, oh my god, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. It was just a joke. I'm so sorry. I'm nervous." So yeah, that, and then like all the images I see of that euphonium anime is that like all of the instruments are very accurate, and I'm like, okay, like, you drew very accurate pictures of instruments. Okay. See, what you should do, and this would be fucking crazy, right, is you should do an anime with like anthropomorphized musical instruments, right? Do like that one dating game where like you can date all the items in your house. Date everything, is that what it's called? Yep. Okay. Do that, but with like all the musical instruments in an orchestra. Because that's the thing, is there's no right way to do that. You're gonna piss everyone off. Everyone's gonna be upset. Yet to encounter a furry community that isn't toxic, though. That, I mean, it's... Yeah, I mean, I think a component of that is just how online they are. Right? But yeah. No, all in good faith. It absolutely has to exist, right? I mean, that's... I mean, that's... I mean, yeah, that's kind of what Peter and the Wolf is. Sorta. Possibly. You know? But yeah, like imparting characterization or anthropomorphism to orchestral instruments, that's just been done. You know? It's been done for many, many years. There are all kinds of like songs and stories about like traveling lute players. And it's fucking hilarious because you'll read this manuscript from like 900 AD and they'll be like, keep the lute players away from your daughters. And you're like, oh, how the times don't change. It's really fucking funny. That, and then the other one is tablature. Or reading tabs. It's like, hey, this is a medieval practice, so okay. It's like fuckboys have been around for a very, very long time. Yeah, breaking open classical music is really, again, it's those cultural like cross relations, right? Where like Nazis are really great because you can just immediately jump. Nazis are not great. Don't fucking. Nazis are great for this example, right? Nazis are bad, but Nazis are good for argument's sake because they really just sort of illuminate and illustrate and offer an example of that sort of hyper-European centrism. And so, you know, you think about how Nazis thought about like Germanic music, Bach, Beethoven, Mozart, anything from Germany, anything from Austria, right? And when you crack it open, right, not every single one of their tunes was a banger. You know what I mean? And so, you know, you'll see these guys, again, the illiterates, the one who cannot and do not read. And they're like, oh, yeah, you need to talk about this, that, and this and that. And it's like, are you talking about the opera with fart jokes in it? You know? Or are you talking about the one where the guy got details from Greek mythos wrong? Which one are you talking about? Are you talking about the one where all the boys are dressed up as girls? That one? The one where the boys dressed up as girls trick their family members into having sex with them Is that the one that's defending Western civilization? You know. So every time it's just like, oh yeah, look at Mozart. It's like, yeah, Mozart did a lot of fart stuff, dude. Like it's not just a lot of fart stuff, it's like mostly fart stuff. Like, damn. And then that's the other thing. I have to deal with this on an almost daily basis. And when I say almost daily, I mean almost fucking daily. Where people are like, oh, Mozart was a genius and this and that. And it's like, he's a really, really great example of like the classical period and the classical style, which is wonderful. That's great. But like the thing he didn't like, and this is how he's like taught in school, is he didn't come up with anything. Most of the time when we slap a composer's name in a textbook, the whole idea is that they did something new. They created something. Haydn, who's a contemporary of Mozart, is a great example because Haydn is the father of the symphony, or he's considered the father of the symphony. And so studying him and his life and how that managed to come around is really important. Mozart didn't really do anything new. The reason why Mozart is put in textbooks is because under the patronage system, Mozart was one of the first and by far the most successful composer to go freelance. That's why he's worth talking about. So he didn't necessarily write interesting music. He didn't necessarily write new music. He didn't invent anything necessarily. It's literally the fact that he was the first freelancer during the patronage era. FM Peter with the Prime. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's so very kind of you. You guys are amazing. Yeah, and so like and like that's the other thing is, people will say classical music, and again, this fucking chaps my taint. They're like, "Oh yeah, classical music." And it's like you're not talking about classical music. You're talking about European music from the European tradition of the common practice period, which is like the end of the Renaissance through to the end of the Romantic period. So it's a good period of time, and it tends to be what makes up like the first 3 semesters of music theory, but yeah, it's like, oh, music of the common practice period. And so like this is where you get into, did he just jump out of my backstab? Bro, that's so cringe. Haha, proctology exam. No, yeah. And so like, oh, Mozart was a genius. Oh my God. And it's like, fucking, why? And it's like, oh, can you, this is where people try to like, this is where people try to like Jimmy Neutron you, where it's like, oh dude, are you not having a brain blast while listening to Mozart? And like, no, I'm not. Hold my hand through this, will ya? And it's so fucking frustrating. It would be like somebody being like, oh, we have to, I don't even know how to put it. It's fucking stupid. But like every other composer, you can look at them and you can be like, oh, okay, here's how they did this, here's how they did that, right? Justin Timberlake of his day, famous for going solo, but not famous for anything he actually did. Who would I compare Mozart to nowadays? I'm not sure. I don't really know. Okay, so the thing is that Mozart's... So, okay. How would I put this? Mozart was kind of like a pageant kid, right? Okay, so the idea was... And so this is a massive aspect of music, is you have to understand that this is before recorded music, right? We're talking about like the 1700s, okay? So, American Revolution is happening. Let me actually look up Mozart's exact dates. Mozart, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Yep, that's him. Yeah, 1756 to 1791. Yeah, so when he was turning 20-ish, we have America's independence. So Hamilton days, if you have to say it that way, right? So the thing about Mozart that was interesting, right, from like I don't know, a developmental perspective, because I know everyone likes to be like, oh, Mozart had like a perfect brain or whatever the fuck, is that Mozart's father, Leopold Mozart, was a composer. Not just like a music teacher. He was an established composer. I think he even had a patron or had patrons. But like, I have looked at his music. I have analyzed his music. He was not a nobody, right? So Mozart had skin in the game from the very beginning. And so on top of being like a composer, he was also a music teacher. Again, it's really like, nowadays you want to be like, oh, are you like a composer? Are you a theorist? Are you like a violinist? Are you a this? Are you a that? Because back then it was like musician did everything, right? That was just kind of how it was. So yes, he was a music teacher, but also he wrote music. There's music in anthologies that I've analyzed from him, and spoilers, it's not very good. My composition professor liked to make fun of it. So the thing is that in many ways Mozart was kind of like a nepo baby. He literally was born to a music teacher who taught him music from a very, very, very young age. Now, nowadays, we know that perfect pitch comes from listening to pitches and trying to identify them before the age of 6. Once you hit 6, there's a developmental barrier in your brain, and your brain loses that elasticity, and it just gets stuck in there. Hi, August. How you doing? Thank you very much. Miley Cyrus might be a better example. So what happened back in the day, right, is you have to understand that we're still looking at aristocrats and aristocracy, right? Habsburgs, the Esterházys, the massive, massive families with... We're talking about the kind of wealth where they would determine who the leaders of what countries would marry each other. That kind of money, right? There's one Habsburg member of the family, I remember I just read this, where like their coefficient for inbreeding was higher than if their parents were siblings. Like that level of inbreeding. Okay, so when you have these nobles, you have to understand their lifestyle, right? They never really had to go outside. They had full compounds. So their theater, where they saw operas, was in their manor. The cast were all their servants, right? You know, it was that kind of situation. Okay, so, you know, it was not uncommon. I mean, a better way to think of it is kind of like a traveling circus almost. Not quite circus, but a traveling act. You know, you think about like the Wild Wild West. Oh yeah, you know, we travel around and we read fortunes and that's how we make money, that kind of thing. People would go to their houses. People would go to their manors and perform for them privately, right? And that's what Mozart did for his entire childhood. Mozart traveled all around Europe by his dad's on his dad's dollar. You know, they would stay in one room, motels, inns, you know, back then. And Mozart would play for them. And that was all he did. So his entire childhood was play for a rich person, you know, get smacked around by his dad because that's just what happened back then, right? And learn music, and then go play for a rich person, get smacked around by dad, and learn music and that kind of thing. And he did that for the first 15, 16 years of life, right? Now, the thing is that his sister also did that. Spoilers. And so nobody talks about Mozart's sister, who also wrote like fantastic music, because she got married. Because she's a girl. And so she got married, and so she didn't get to have the career that Mozart had. But the thing is that because Mozart traveled so much, again, you have to remember that there are technological limitations of the time, right? In order to hear... So, I mean... Somebody scream out a city in France that isn't Paris. Just tell me a city that in France that isn't Paris. I'm getting my ass kicked. Nice. Okay, Nice, right. So if you're in Paris and you want to know what the music in Nice is, you need to have someone who's either performing there, who has performed there, or you need to get somebody to go there and transcribe music from a bar, right? Which is not super easy to do, And these are cities that are but this would be, I don't know, several days of travel. Ow! Dude, you're being a dick. It's cringe. Ow, I'm about to die. Yep. Okay, so yeah. So if you're in Nice and you want to know what's going on in Paris or vice versa, right? You need to have somebody who can write music, read music. You need to have the musician travel to you. You need to be able to do this. You need to be able to do that. Mozart was in an extremely advantageous position. He was in an advantageous position because he had spent the first 20 years of life traveling all around Central Europe, right? So he knew what different music of different places sounded like. And so he wrote like not hybrid music. It wasn't anything that interesting, but he knew what people in different towns liked. And he would write things that everybody could enjoy. That like mass appeal is what made him popular enough to be a freelance composer. And so, you got to talk about, we're just at the French Revolution era, right? We're looking at the American Revolution. The fall of the aristocracy and the fall of the patronage system, that's where Mozart exists. The real conversation about the French Revolution and Napoleon doesn't come around until Beethoven. Especially Beethoven 3, his third symphony titled Eroica, was originally named after Napoleon, or named for Napoleon, but Beethoven got real pissed off because it was like, oh, okay, Napoleon's just another emperor. And Beethoven was big on the French Revolution. So here's the thing. We want to say first pop star, right? But something you got to keep in mind is that this is Europe, right? Because Americans speak English and the Pilgrims came over here and it's a massive proportion of the population. We spend so much time learning about European history. I mean, just look at like Ren fairs, right? Where it's like, oh my God, it's Europe. And it's like, fairies don't exist anywhere, dude. Sorry. But yeah, he was more like the first pop star. So again, it's not necessarily that his music was good. If anything, and again, if this like gets out into academic Twitter or whatever, the thing about Mozart that made him so great was like the fact that his music was so accessible, right? And because it was so accessible, so many people understood it, right? And so in that way, you can almost say it was generic, So, I mean, like if I'm teaching a music theory class and we're in like midway through the second semester music theory, third semester, more like third semester, teaching Mozart, I know that if I break out a piece by Mozart, I'm not going to have a tremendously difficult time teaching it to the kids. You know what I mean? I absolutely hear you. And I mean, the thing is like if you want to look at something like Asia, there are so many different music traditions, right? Like there are different music traditions between like Persia, like what is historically considered Persia, Arabia, North Africa, and the Middle East, and then Eastern Europe, right? But, you go on Fox News, everyone's gonna be like, oh, it's the Muslim world. And like, sort of? All right, listen, you keep hitting me and that sucks. So if you could stop, that'd be great. Oh, now you want to stop hitting me. Oh, okay. Because I'm ready for it. Ow, you're going to knock me over. All right, you're going to get Darth Vadered. I'm not even sorry. That hitbox is not fair. Rite of Spring to classical music. Rite of Spring is like the end of the common practice period. That's kind. Well, Stravinsky and Wagner. No, Stravinsky. Stravinsky is the end. Oh, I don't want to get into it because then it gets very Nazi. It really sucks talking about Wagner. It really sucks talking about Wagner. Like, he was a sack of shit. He really was, though. Like, I know I'm clowning around, but he was not a good dude. Classic music in the broadest meaning possible. I mean, and that's the thing is, it's um, like if I say, no, not if I fart in the mic. If I say like classical music, right? The conversation typically means the common practice period. If I say, hey, what does music from the medieval period, or sorry, if I say, what does music from the Renaissance, the European Renaissance, sound like, right? People are going to jump to stuff from the Ren Fair. Stuff from the Ren Fair is way more medieval than anything else. But then if I play the medieval music, actual medieval music, people won't be able to identify it. Right? And then if I ask them to tell me what medieval music sounds like, they're going to play me some Hans Zimmer shit that's way off. Right? And these are kind of like the undercurrent problems that I have. So like if I sit here and I'm like, oh yeah, no, this is medieval, everyone immediately is like, oh, it's like blank, 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 blank. And then the guys who don't read good are like, no, of course, you know, that's not the music they played in Transformers. And, you know, then I go home, have a good cry, and then we're good. But no, I mean, yeah, it's so fucking frustrating. I don't even know where to start. I really need to upgrade my shit though. Let's see, what do I got? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't have enough of those. That's all over the place. Okay. I have so many problems with Hans Zimmer. Most of them are not musically related, but I have so many problems with fucking Hans Zimmer. Yep. Yeah, so Rite of Spring, modern. Wagner, late romantic. Romantic up into the Tristan chord. Because technically the Tristan chord is atonal, you know. And then the Impressionists are there too, you know. Debussy also exists. Yeah, Gregorian chant is accurate. The thing about medieval music that's so interesting is just like so little of it is known because they didn't like write it down, and the ones who did write it down were like churches, you know. A lot of it was oral tradition. There's one composer called De Prez. It's been a minute, but DE space PREZ, De Prez. And the only reason we know about him is because he was obsessed with himself, so he made a shit ton of copies of his own work. And so, like, we look at his music and it's like, is this good? We don't know. Ow, hammer. No, John Powell is a composer. Hans Zimmer is a businessman. That is the kindest way I would put it. Oh, damn it. Yeah. And then, like, you know, like we get into conversations where it's like, oh, this is modern music. It's like modern music was 100 years ago. And they're like, oh, well, you know, there's a certain content creator. Would I call them a content creator? Technically a human being. I think we'll leave it at that. Who talks about postmodernism and is like, postmodernism was like the 60s and 70s. We're in whatever the fuck it is now, and people are struggling to identify it, and everybody has an answer for it. Nobody's right. Yeah. So Zimmer's one of the ones that I have trouble talking about because everyone's like, "Oh, he's so good. It's this and that." And I'm like, let me just breathe. Let me breathe. Contemporary, yeah. Contemporary is the word that you're supposed to use for contemporary music. Is in when two composers are contemporary of one another. But in terms of like how you would classify it as a period, or how it will be classified as a period moving forward, that's kind of up in the air. My chair is squeaking at me. I don't care. I've already seen this. Yeah. It's a crazy, crazy world. Yeah, I love people and they're like, I'm gonna break out a violin and I'm gonna play Mozart. Look at how fancy I am. It's like, wow, dude. If this was the revolutionary era, you would have drowned in syphilis. Congratulations, you know. Yeah, contemporary. Well, contemporary just means now, right? Like this point in time, right? Con, as in together, right? And then temp, meaning time, right? So contemp, contemporary. It just means like at the same time. So I am a contemporary of John Williams because we are both alive at the same time. Mozart and Haydn were contemporaries because they were both alive at the same time. So if they both wrote music, their music would have been contemporaneous of one another. And so like right now it is contemporary music, but they like, you know, I can't look at music from the 80s and say it's contemporary music because it's no longer happening right now. But music of the 80s is contemporaneous with music of the late 70s. Does that make sense? Is this making any sense? I hope it is. I want the item that was over here. Okay, guys, I'm gonna summon everybody. You charge into, yeah, you're doing good. I never know how to dodge his stuff on the horse. Ow. Yeah, I mean, so that's the thing is like I've been in academic circles where anything that touches the Billboard 100 is classified as popular music. You know, maybe contemporary pop music. So I've sat in rooms full of professors who have been like, yes, death metal, hip hop, bubblegum punk, and country music are all pop music. They're just different flavors of pop music. And so the conversation there then turns into like, oh, one brave person comes out and is like, actually, these all have different practices. Let me show you how. And these people who don't know who Lady Gaga is are like, oh, wow, I didn't know there was a difference between these. Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. Yeah, Sarah has experienced some of that, just being in the room with me. It is super fucking cringe. What the fuck was that? Alright, everybody watch out because he's about to come down like a meteor. Baby, I'm a firework! Oh wow, he killed everybody. I need my friends! Ha! Ow. Your age is showing and not in a flattering way. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, I've had professors be like, okay, we're gonna do some pop music analysis, and it's the Beatles. You know, like the Beatles are like the one thing in any academic environment where people are like, oh, okay, yeah, no, this still constitutes music, and you're like, Jesus Christ, guys. You know, it's like, how have you listened to Sgt. Pepper? Sgt. Pepper, yeah, Sgt. Pepper's pretty good. Sgt. Pepper. Yeah, like Sgt. Pepper is the only thing that constitutes like pop music in an academic circle, at least in the ones that I've been in. And, you know, there are definitely some groups of people, or you know, they will, I don't know how to put this kindly, but they'll go outside, right? Which is nice. And then I've been in rooms full of homeschooled professors where you're just like, you just never had to watch a TV growing up. This is insane. It's one of those things. It's one of those things where you look at it and you're like, I don't even know how to be polite about this. This fucking sucks. Yeah, falling star. Wow, it's amazing. Okay, I'm just doing this to continue the story. It's one of the I sassy catastrophe. I love that. Hi, sassy catastrophe. I was like sassy catastrophe, like apostrophe. You fear you have to think, but they think about rap and hip hop. There was a huge, massive, like I don't even know what to call it. Like you want to call it a controversy, but it doesn't even begin to cover it. Where everybody talked about it. It was this paper journal article. I want to say it was by Dr. Philip Ewell, and it was like talking about like Schenkerian analysis and racism, and it tore everything and everyone apart. It was just fucking. It was. I mean, you would have thought a president had been assassinated the way that the professors were freaking out, and it was such a stupid, like it was messy. We'll say that it was really really messy, right? Like imagine if I came out and I was like, hey, I think that people should be treated the same regardless of how much melanin they have, and then all of the fifth grade school teachers just all of their skin fell off. Like that's basically what it kind of amounted to in terms of like how soft of a criticism it was, right? It's like I'd seen harsher criticism online of pretty much any and every field, and dude, there were responses. There was like, I want to say screaming. There were PDFs released full of signatures from professors all over the country, and it was on a 1 to 10 how racist, like 14. It was because it wasn't just about racism. It was about inheriting the racism that we have to read about. I mean, it's kind of like when you talk about like tomb raiding and then you unlock a disease from forever and a half ago. It's something like that. It's like, how are you espousing ideas that Wagner had in the 1800s? Like, are you kidding me right now? Like, this is insanity. It was a wild and crazy time. But again, and I cannot stress this enough, it was the mildest of criticism, and it was just this really strange kind of like two worlds colliding, where it's like, oh man, you guys really want to lose your mind? Fucking give me 30 seconds. I'll make some of you fuckers cry. You know what I mean? Because like and this was like a part of, I don't know if I want to say the problem, but a part of the reason why it became so big was this happened during I want to say it was the summer where George Floyd was killed, or the summer when George Floyd was killed, something like that. But it was all of the BLM protests, and so everybody was talking about that. It was like a whole thing, and so people like lumped it together where they were like, oh, you're only like 2020, yeah, about yes, maybe, yeah, ish, right? Anyway, and so like one of the criticisms was like, oh, you're just talking about this because it's fashionable to talk about it now because of the BLM protests. And it's like, hey, so we like, if we don't have an alarm bell going off, we need to make one so that it can go off. It was bad. And it kind of became a really great litmus test for me when I was talking to academics, content creators, to be like, oh, so what do you think about this? And it was like, because for me it was very much just like, this is super super tame. We could go way fucking harder. But yeah, and like the unfortunate part was there were just like, obviously the people defending racism had just the worst fucking arguments you've ever heard in your life, but some of the people defending the paper also made really fucking terrible arguments. And so it like, I want to say, I can't remember who. I want to say it was like Kelly Osbourne. Like, somebody was like, oh no, if they deport people, who's going to clean the toilets? And it's like, I don't know what team you're playing for right now. It was that kind of thing where it's like, you know, like we have to let we have to let hip hop exist because Indian music exists, and it's like that's not how what like that doesn't make any sense at all. I believe it was Philip Ewell, and Ewell is Ewell. Shot themselves in the foot with a 12 grade. I mean, it's like they strapped claymores to their body the wrong way around. Like it was, yeah, yeah. It was. That's exactly what I was like. That is, you're not making the point they think you are. Like this is, oof. But it was a lot of that, and so it just turned into like a shit flaying contest. It was bad, really bad. But it was the whole so okay, so the whole like, to this day I'm fuzzy on the details. It was talking about something called Schenkerian analysis. So Schenkerian analysis comes from a guy called Schenker, who was German, and Schenkerian analysis relies on talking about frameworks, right? So when you conduct Schenkerian analysis, what you end up doing is you look at a piece of music and you go, okay, which parts of this piece are the most important, right? So if we have a trill or a neighbor tone or a passing tone, I can say that one of these notes is a chord tone, and then one of these notes is an accessory to that chord tone, right? That is effectively Schenkerian analysis, except you do it to an entire piece of music. Some of these pieces of music can be very, very long, right? So the argument was, and this could be wrong, but what I remember the argument being was something akin to, in the same way that there is a hierarchy of notes built in Schenkerian analysis, so too is there like hierarchical systems in society that privilege or disadvantage certain aspects. It was along those lines. All right, please go and look it up yourself. And like that was it. It was just so simple. And then people started trying to like talk about how teaching Schenkerian analysis was racist, and how Schenkerian analysis, you know, privileges a certain perspective, which again is all completely true. But you could also say that to any and all music theory curriculums pretty much across the country, right? It's like, hey, why do we spend 3 years studying just the common practice period? That seems a little Eurocentric, doesn't it? And like very few people brought that up. Very, very few people. And so it's like you're trying to advocate for why Mozart and Beethoven is the best music ever, while also saying that, and like when those people were racist, it made sense. But then when they were like, oh yeah, no, this is the supreme form of music, that music gets to exist too. It's like, do you not hear yourself being as bigoted as you are? You know what I mean? And I wasn't up to date on the whole conversation, but it was a lot of just, it got ugly. And so like whenever people ask me, it's like, what do you know, like, I talk about the Beatles. I talk about my conducting professor who did not know who Lady Gaga was in 2014, which is just baffling. You know, I talk about my opera professor I had who was homeschooled and just divorced from reality. And then I talk about that and the people that I spoke to about that situation and how it just frighteningly uneducated these professionals were. Very, very scary. Okay, so now we're about to get the mimic tears, which we like. It will cast spells for us. Her. David Lance and Paul Spear. I have not. What kind of stuff do they do? Yeah, I mean, like, trying to talk about like what the point was, that is very much something that I struggled with. I almost didn't make that jump. I remember being really frustrated because there are many extremely valid arguments that you could make about Eurocentricity in the way that we teach music, as well as music analysis, and then the way that we teach music analysis. There's a massive fucking conversation to be had there. And it felt like people were tiptoeing around it to some degree. And that made me angry. That made me very frustrated. Yeah, like within my lifetime, computer science has kind of gone through a refurbishment where instead of calling things master and slave, they call them like leader and follower, or like primary and secondary, which is way better. And so that's something, I mean, that's something that I've tried to do with my analysis and the way that I write it. It was also, I'm just going to keep fucking shilling for myself. It was also like a not insignificant part of my master's thesis, basically being like, this is all coming from a European framework. Here's how this thing that I labeled and I named can actually exist outside of a Eurocentric framework. Hardy har har. Which I did so consciously. I was like, if I happen to have struck gold with whatever this is, which is, you know, fat chance, but in the very small chance that I had managed to strike gold, I did not want my tools to be used for evil. And that's why I worded it the way that I did. Yeah, James Cameron's Avatar is a good example. It's a good example. Yeah. Name for the Masters golf tournament. I mean, yeah, and like that's the thing is like so many people are like, oh, tradition, oh this, oh that. It's like the nanosecond you crack open baby's first textbook, you're like, oh, these things really are constantly evolving. Because the ones that don't evolve die. You know what I mean? I have a fucking hilarious, and I mean hilarious story about my Blue Avatar or my Blue Avatar video. It's a very funny story. It was funny. It was funny, but just the internet, you know what I mean? The internet. Okay. So a while back now, like when I want to say I first made the video, Sarah and I were sitting down, and so Sarah and I don't really watch TV. The internet's for porn. Thankfully that's not what this was. Sarah and I don't really like watch like terrestrial TV, which I feel like most people don't do nowadays. But we have like a Twitch app on the TV, and we just kind of like leave Twitch streams on. And we've done it for a while. And so a while ago, we're talking like years ago, Sarah and I were sitting down and we were watching a stream by Jenny Nicholson. And I know that everybody in this chat knows who Jenny Nicholson is, but if you don't, go check her stuff out. It's really good. And she was streaming with her sister, I want to say. And like we had it on in the background while we were just like doing whatever. And someone was like, hey, did you ever see Sideways' Avatar video or video on Avatar? And it was the funniest fucking reaction ever because they're both like, oh, yeah. Anyway, so it was so perfect. It was because, you know, that was around the time where Sarah and I discovered it's like, oh, Jenny Nicholson's actually like a huge Avatar fan. Shit. Right. But no, we saw that like, one clip. Just it's like, oh, did you? Someone in the chat was like, oh, did you see Sideways' video on Avatar? Just yeah. Anyway, oh my god, if anybody has access to a VOD, please don't like harass anyone or you know anything like that. Please no. But if anybody has access to that VOD, I would piss myself to be able to see it again. It was so fucking funny. Oh my god. Yeah. I feel like I've had a couple instances like that where people have like brought up my stuff. I've had that happen in real life where like people have talked about my stuff. It's like, oh yeah, that's my video, and then they're like, oh yeah, no, it was good. It was good. Yeah, yeah. Add it to the Twitch channel trailer. I have to do that. I have to do that. Oh my god. Oh, Muthi, can you link me them? Can you like? I almost fell right there. Can you send that to me like on Twitter or Blue Sky or something? Yeah, I'm gonna make a Twitter channel trailer, and it's just a bunch of people being like, what did I say? A Twitch channel trailer, just being like, hey, here's everyone who's like, yeah, I know who he is. It's fine. Just oh, good times. Good times. I've had I feel like I've had about as many cringe moments on the internet being a content creator as I have or as I had in like middle school and high school. Mm. Oh, no pressure. Yeah, no. I mean that's why I'm streaming today. I was working on a script and there's like a whole section I have to basically cut, and that's very depressing. And so instead of rewriting it, I was like, what if I stream? That way I can feel productive without actually doing any work. Yeah. That's a win-win. No, this video is supposed to come out at the end of the month. It's the end of the month. I missed the deadline. I want to throw myself off a bridge. Yay. All right. Let's see. Our kitty crisis. Oh, so because you guys like getting updates about our kitties, which we appreciate, right? You can't kill yourself. It's Pride Month. Yeah. I'll wait till July 1st. No, we have a minor cat crisis. We have a very minor cat crisis. So as you all know, we have two cats, Ice Cream and Popsicle. They are both special needs. Ice Cream had FIP, which is kitty COVID. It is terminal. The vet was like, we have to put her down. And we said no. And so we did an experimental treatment with her, which was very intensive and very expensive. And she made a full recovery, which we're very happy about. But we have to go in for blood work, and we have to keep an eye on her, and she can't go outside, you know. And then we have Popsicle, and Popsicle has all of his toe beans fused together. So his paws don't work super well. So like, it's also important that he doesn't get outside because he can't defend himself properly. He doesn't have claws, right? And he can't like climb trees and things like that. And hard surfaces hurt his tootsies, right? So this happens every once in a while, about once a year, but Ice Cream has a cold. It's the cutest fucking thing, but Ice Cream has a cold. So we know she has a cold because she starts sneezing, right? She likes sneezing directly into my open mouth in the middle of the night every now and then. But when she has a cold, she sneezes a good like 5 or 6 times a day. And so just last night, her brother, Popsicle, oh my God, are you fucking kidding me? I just died in the dumbest way possible. Last night, her little brother, Popsicle, got into her business a little too much. And she's not feeling well, and so she started hissing at him, which is normal. But she has a clogged nose, so she went... and she was, like, snorting, and then she, like, had a sneezing fit, a good, like, 6 or 7, just... cutest thing we've ever seen her do. So, yeah, Ice Cream currently has a cold. And so she's doing a lot of napping. And we're giving her vitamins, which we have these like supplements that we give her when it's an immuno booster, you know, huh? Lysine? Lynes. Okay, I don't know, but yeah, we don't do anything with our cats that isn't vet approved. We want to make that very clear. And so whenever she's feeling unwell, we give her these supplements, and it boosts her immune system so she can get over it faster, you know. And yeah, so we have a sneezy princess right now. Ha! I always hate this guy just because it's a curved area, so it's really difficult to navigate, and if you have a longer weapon, it catches on everything. And he's got all of this. It's like if it was in Mortal Kombat, he's a zoning character. Thank you, Jesus. Yeah, sneezing cats are very cute. But when it happens to ice cream in particular, we just get a little extra nervous. So it's a very minor cat crisis. Not quite a catastrophe. Oh, oh, oh! I'm sorry. Please knock him off. Where the fuck did he go? Ayy! Why isn't he over there? Okay, he just shot the wall. Little confused there, bud. All right. Hey! I did it! All by myself. You can't message me on Blue Sky. What? Hit me up on Twitter. I will check that as soon as I get off today. This is the wrong way. We went to haha. There we go. Yay! Huh! Yeah. I don't like the hands in this game either. Or like any of the finger creatures, they make me feel icky. Why does your shield look more dangerous than your sword? Oh, it's the spikes, for sure. I also have it enchanted with frost. So when people hit it, they're supposed to take like bleed damage and they're supposed to take frost damage. I think. I don't know. But I'm just keeping it. I'm just keeping it because, like, look, you can't see me. See, peekaboo. 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 Right? Okay. I'm having a very, very easy Elden Ring run today. Because I've played a lot of Elden Ring, so I can like carry out a conversation while I'm playing it, and I know the ins and outs without having to Google shit, you know. And today a laptop almost went through a pane of glass. Let's just. Why am I upgrading intelligence? It's for the bubbles. Oracle bubbles. Bubbles. This is the dumbest spell. I'm so happy. How many hours in Elden Ring? Not as many as I have in Oxygen Not Included. Or Satisfactory. Or Astroneer. Or Planet Crafter. Sarah and I go crazy on those like base building games. She like builds the base and then I go out and I explore and I bring stuff back. Oh, and Core Keeper. Yeah. We played the fuck out of Core Keeper. I hate these guys so much. The one in the Volcano Manor is such a dick. No. Yeah, see, that shit. It's so delayed, it's so weird, and he's got like 9 different variations of it. Captioning and edit for socials? No. Jesus. Just hit 1,000 hours in TF2? Nice. I heard of Neon Odyssey. I've not heard of Neon Odyssey. I am big into D&D though. Well, I don't know that I'm big into D&D. I have almost all of the 3.5 books. I would like version 3.5 was my thing. Like to this day, if you like start naming prestige classes, it's like a non-zero chance that I'm going to know what book it's from. Yeah. So version 4 was when I did my undergraduate, and that's when I stopped having money. Do I like 5e? The subclass system is interesting. I wish they went for it more. Like, D&D feels way smaller now. Do you know what I mean? Because each supplemental book, it was prestige classes, enemies, locations, gods. Like, it was a whole thing. And now it just feels like the variations are just like, here's a subclass, here's 3 abilities that make you different from every other insert class here. You know what I mean? And like version 3.5 had some weird shit in it. You know what I mean? Like, yes, it was broken, but I feel like every way, God damn it. I feel like every way in which version 5 is broken, or every way in which 3.5 was broken, is still the same here in version 5. You know? Like divination wizards, broken. They continue to be broken. They always will be broken, you know? Um Same thing kind of like with necromancers. Rangers are fucking useless. Nobody knows how to play a rogue. Like it's the same thing over and over again, you know? And it just like and the thing is like I really struggle with the community because it like, you know, people will be like, here's my OC, and I'm like, is it an OC or is it another tiefling bard? Right? It's like, oh, a tiefling warlock. Wow. Okay, never seen this one before. I'm not saying rangers can't be fun, right? But like, it's the same problem that was in. It was the same problem that was in 3.5, where it's like the classes that only have to invest in one stat, that can stat dump, will always do better than the stats that have to do multiples. Rangers being a problem, monks being a problem, and paladins as well. Right? Like, if I'm a wizard, there's just an expectation that there are going to be people around me to take care of me, and every single one of my points I could just dump into int and then I'm fine. Right? But if I'm a paladin, I need charisma in order to do anything. But then I also need strength in order to be able to swing. I because I'm doing melee damage. I also need constitution because I'm going to be on the front line. You know, it's not like barbarian where you could just do like strength and con and you'll live. You know, and rangers even worse. It's like wisdom for casting, dexterity for archery. But then I also need skill points because I'm kind of like an outdoor rogue at times. Like which, pick one. Like suck at one thing, please. Martial classes do tend to have a harder time. They overcompensated in overcompensated in 3.5 with Tome of Battle. So in the I want to make sure I get this right. So Tome of Battle was really, really cool, but it ended every problem that ever happened with anything ever in 3.5, Tome of Battle ended. Tome of Battle was incredibly overpowered. So what it is it was a supplementary book in 3.5. So just like any other supplementary book, it has its own races, classes, prestige classes, monsters, campaigns, items, you know, the whole thing. But Tome of Battle, Book of the Nine Swords, was basically what if like different weapon styles were functionally different martial arts, and as a consequence of those martial arts, you could perform techniques, and those techniques were functionally spells. And so you'd pick one of the 9 styles. Some classes or prestige classes would let you like pick 2 styles. You'd be able to ready a certain style in a certain way. And we're talking like, I'm not kidding, 40 d6 damage in one turn to anything adjacent to you. You know, and then like given the right kinds of feats and shit, you could do that like once a turn for 4 turns, right? It was obscenely powerful. It was so insanely broken. And I'm a guy who was a big fan of psionics. You know what I mean? And so like the Tome of Battle broke a lot. Broke everything pretty much. That psionics are really powerful. Wizards are really powerful. And then, okay, so psionics were powerful, wizards were powerful, and somehow they made the erudite suck. And that to me was like magic. That, and then nobody plays archivists, which, sorry, I have opinions on D&D and they bother me. It's to collect shiny math rocks. Yeah. Bloomborough got me into buying actual cardboard Magic the Gathering. And so, like, I have my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles deck and etc. Right? But I can't start dice. I cannot start dice. It'll be the end of me. It'll be the end of me. But yeah, so so in Dungeons and Dragons, shiny math rocks. Yeah. Yeah. D&D is a brilliant system to make characters. I really do. I really do appreciate that. But like, okay, here I'll give you a perfect example of like why I feel like version 5 is lacking from version 3.5. Right? Okay. In version 5 you have wizards. In version 3.5 you have wizards. For those of you who don't know, there is a difference in D&D between spontaneous spellcasting and prepared spellcasting. So this is the difference between a sorcerer and a wizard. A wizard needs a spell book and has to study and write them down and has to go to school, and then every morning for an hour they have to like go through their spell book and they basically cast the spells, and then when they're in combat and they have to cast the spell, they're not really casting the spell, they're releasing the spell that they prepared. Okay? That's how wizards work. Because wizards are prepared spellcasters. Sorcerers, on the other hand, are just magical. They just snap their fingers and they're like, check it out, boom. Something's on fire, right? So that's the difference between a spontaneous and a prepared spellcaster. Hold on. So the way that it works and the way that it levels out is that sorcerers have access to a lot of cantrips, which are level 0 spells, but wizards have access to a lot of level 9 spells. So when you get to level 20 max level, wizards have access to more powerful stuff in the end, but sorcerers have a lot more lower level stuff, right? And the other advantage, the level 9 aka god spells. Yeah, so this is where you have spells like Wish, which is literally have the D&D intervene. Hey, I want something to happen. Divine spellcasters have Miracle, and then psionics have Alter Reality, right? So the advantage of each is that sorcerers, being spontaneous spellcasters, they have meta magic feats, so they can like change the shape of their fireball. They can like take a feat where they can cast spells without somatic contents. Where they don't have to move, they don't have to speak, right? Or it's a fireball, but instead of fire damage, it does cold damage, like those kinds of things. Really cool, really great. On the other hand, what wizards can do is wizards have a spell book, and so they can copy down spells from other spell books, from scrolls, that kinds of thing. And so, like, depending on your DM, there are technically rules against this, but depending on your DM, you can have a wizard with almost every spell in the game, right? Which is pretty cool if your DM allows it, right? So, okay, so that's the trade-off. In Liber Mortis or Heroes of Horror, I think it's Heroes of Horror. I'm pretty sure it's Heroes of Horror. You have a character called an archivist, right? And what an archivist is a divine spellcaster, but they are a prepared spellcaster. So you're talking about divine spells, as the name implies, it tends to be related to gods. So druids and clerics. Clerics go to their god. Druids worship, if you're talking about the DC universe, the green, right? The swamp thing. They worship nature. And that's where they get their powers. I see the grace over there. But druids and clerics are both technically spontaneous spellcasters. Clerics pray to their god gives them powers. Druids pray to nature, nature gives them powers. So long as druids don't wear metal armor, I want to say, they can keep casting spells. Yay. An archivist has a spell book. It's not called a spell book, but it's a fucking spell book, where they write down divine spells, and they go around collecting holy symbols, artifacts, carvings, and things like that. So they are functionally a divine spellcaster, but they're prepared. So in every sense of the word, they work like wizards. They scale off of their intelligence. They have a spell book, their archive book, whatever they call it, and they can cast divine spells. In the world of psionics, there's a class called the erudite, where they can do something similar, right? God damn it. They could do something similar, except instead of arcane spells or divine spells, it's psionic powers. They can keep learning powers and keep adding to their repertoire, right? And so to compensate for the arcane, divine, and then psionics, like these three different families, you know, the class abilities are different. So the erudite can make a psi crystal, or like learn to make a psi crystal, I want to say. The archivist, because it's in the Heroes of Horror setting, has resistances to being terrified, that kind of thing. In the same way that like wizards get a familiar. In version 3.5, that might be two different subclasses of wizard, in which case it's basically just a wizard, just with a slightly different flavor to it. And that's what I mean, where I'm like, it just feels like nothing's really fleshed out. Is this making any sense at all? Like, because that's where I struggle. And so you can make that argument for like every single base class and every single other starting class that they added to the game with later installments. You know, no, but keep going. Okay. Casual ass player, yeah. That's the other thing is, I learned very late that I play Dungeons and Dragons like an asshole. Like, I'm a big fan of the numbers, right, and the shiny math rocks, and that when I played D&D in like middle and high school, it was very math focused. It was very much like not necessarily trying to break the game, but trying to min-max. And the D&D made really hard encounters, right? But in trying to get through Critical Role, I found that the popular way to do D&D is to do all the role-playing and the voices and like creating an entire backstory for your character. And it just misses me. Like, I can't quite get into it. So if I understand correctly, nerd. Yeah. You got me. You're the first person who noticed that I'm a massive nerd. Math D&Ders and theater D&Ders. That's kind of a good way to put it. Yeah, like the rules of cool versus min-maxing. We weren't. I didn't feel like we were min-maxing, but by like contemporary standards, we were 1000% min-maxing. Yeah. And like, you know, nowadays looking back on like version 3.5 stuff and scrubbing through the forums and stuff, there's all of these like amazing posts about like how to actually turn your character into a sandwich, which sounds dumb, but it's actually really nuanced and complicated, and being able to pull it off is kind of tough. And that was a very fun read. But like one of the things I like to do, and I think I brought this up once or twice before, was there's a whole book that didn't make any sense called The Magic of Incarnum. And I think it was trying to position itself as like, you know, in the same way you have Arcane, Divine, and then Psionics, they wanted to add a fourth, which was The Magic of Incarnum, and it did not take at all. And so like the whole idea is that it's like you're an incarnate of an extreme alignment. So you're a good incarnate, evil incarnate, law incarnate, chaos incarnate. Which, fine, you know, and you would make soul melds, which were like items or armor, and you would like lock them to certain chakras on your body. It was a complicated system that to this day people struggle with, right? But they had this character that didn't make any sense. It was like half druid, half barbarian, half soul melder, which is what this book was all about. And it was called the Totemist, or the Totemist, right? And the whole idea was it was like tapping into like the spirits of nature and shit like that. And this is supposed to be a good shield that I never use, and I'm not going 28 strength. What do I have? I might go 28 strength for the stupid ant shield. Hell yeah. Anyway, yeah, like all the people who want to create a campaign never do. Yeah. Anyway, so like what this Totemist could do is it was like, oh, okay, we're going to give this class certain abilities from animals. And the thing that I loved about it was that it was very similar to blue mages from Final Fantasy, which I loved, right? You could kind of like go around and collect spells from enemies. Very cool. Very, very cool. One of the things that you could make was a Blink Dog shirt. It was a shirt made from the essence of Blink Dogs, which are neutral good enemies that can like blur themselves out of reality, but they can also teleport. And at level 2, Totemists unlocked a unique totem chakra, and in unlocking a unique totem chakra, they could bind the Blink Dog shirt to them, and when you bound the Blink Dog shirt to them, you could teleport. And instead of moving, you teleported. You could teleport up, down, through walls. You like imagine playing League of Legends with a permanent flash. That's what it was. It was impossibly broken, and nobody looked into this at all. And so any class that I played, you could just get 2 levels of Totemist, and yeah, my character doesn't walk, doesn't run, doesn't swim, doesn't climb. You know, I'm basically playing Nightcrawler from X-Men. Yeah, I see. That's the thing is like I get really intimidated now because like I was looking into like going to like a D&D group or like going to like a Magic the Gathering tournament, but like when you look that up with D&D in particular, it turns into a lot of like, oh, here's a story between all of these characters, and there's romance and divorce, not like real life divorce, but divorce in the campaign and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, that's not, I can't do that. Like, no, you know, because you're kind of stepping into a friend group. And I tried doing it in undergrad, and it did not go well. Ask Sarah. It's a really fucking funny story. And then every time I look up like Magic tournaments, like Magic the Gathering, it's just like, it is always and constantly the worst story about the most obscene neckbeard you've ever heard of in your life. Magic the Gathering pre-releases with friends, it's one of those things, you know. All right, let's see. Can I do this? So yeah, it's not for lack of trying. I promise it's not that bad. No, I know. And like that's the other thing is like I don't want to be the bad vibes. You know, I don't want to show up and be like, "Oh, so this is what you're doing?" You know, like actual LARPing, right? Like live action role play. It's like, dude, if this is how like you chill, you're not hurting anyone, you know, you're not causing any problems for anyone. I don't want to sit here and be like, dude, this is cringe, because then really I'm the one that's cringe. You know what I mean? Also, everyone, like, whenever I do anything remotely related to some kind of Tolkien-inspired fantasy, everyone's like, you should be the bard! And I'm like, I would rather cut my own toes off than play the bard. Because it's like, you're going to want to do this and this and this. And I'm like I immediately turn into, like, a neckbeard version of myself. Like, actually, here's how this is all anachronistic. You know what I mean? Yeah, the photos of all the butt cracks from the Magic tournament. Exactly. That is... that is a tremendous fear for me. I think that's really what made D&D fun for me in school growing up, was that we had a DM who, see, like, I didn't feel like we were min-maxing. I thought that's just what the game was, right? But what that meant was that our DM was also min-maxing. So he was still able to make encounters that were difficult for us, even though all of us were on the same page. You know, like we had a monk with like 30 decks, that kind of thing. You know, we had like a necromancer that could summon an entire city, like that kind of thing. And like being able to pull that off, like having a DM that can compensate for that. Yeah, it absolutely is a communication thing. And that's something that was like really, really exciting about 3.5 is just like there are so many classes and so many interactions in so many different ways, right? It was like, ooh, you know, here's this book. I wonder what we could do with this and that and this and that and the other. Yeah. Do the most damage with only a longbow. I want to say that somebody calculated the maximum damage you could do, and you would have to be and like it was like you have to be a half orc cleric of war with a mace, and like the maximum possible damage at level 1 was 28 damage, which is not small. Like that's a lot. But yeah, no, so like I played, like, do not get me wrong, I played the fuck out of Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah, it's a big word for Elmo. Did you shoot the mace? No. I played the shit out of Baldur's Gate 3, but again, just because like D&D wasn't about the story for me, it was always about like the math behind it. I ended up just making like my main character was just broken, and it wasn't fun, and then I stopped. I didn't romance anyone, right? Because I don't care. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I don't want to. Like that was the other thing is like I couldn't get into like the community of Baldur's Gate 3 because everyone's just like, oh my god, who are we fucking? And I'm like, you know, I have a monk with 6 attacks a turn playing a spore druid. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, especially because like that game actually had spore druids in them. I was like, oh neat, like necromancer druids. This is sick. Yeah. So what you had to do was, well, first off, you went monk, and again, we're doing subclasses, so I'm a little lost, but it was like Way of the Open Fist. It was where you could add your wisdom modifier to your attack, and so then every time you attacked, you did your wisdom modifier on top of your damage for each hit. So when you would like flurry, you would hit plus with regular flurry, which is already a good amount of damage for a monk, plus your wisdom modifier. Then you can take one level in fighter, which gives you action surge, and so you can action surge and do the whole thing again. And so like I can't remember exactly what I did, but I was able to get the undead dragon in 1 round. Like that kind of thing. Another one is a fighter with Tavern Brawler, right? Because Tavern Brawler adds your strength, dexterity, strength to thrown items. And there's the javelin that always comes back to your hand that you get that you get from the genie in the carnival. So, yeah, shit like that. The other one was like, you know, playing cleric and managed to position guardian spirits really well. I remember I was reading some posts somewhere, I can't remember, but they were like, it totally makes sense that you can't get access to level 6 spells, because once you get to level 6 spells, yeah, at that point the DM is like, dude, this is horse shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, like you do that kind of stuff, and then you can, I mean, like I want to say Tavern Brawler on Karlach, the Barbarian. That one's also really good. You could always go padlock, paladin, warlock, because they both dip into charisma. And so if you do, oh god, if you do hexblade, paladin, or no, hexblade, warlock, where I always go oathbreaker paladin because again the role playing's not for me, but with like an oathbreaker paladin or something like that, you can divine smite for absurd amounts of damage. You hex them, so they take more damage from you, and then you smite them with your your paladin stuff, and it's absurd amounts of damage. Yeah. So that kind of double, triple, quintuple dipping. And then and then you have what is it? I think it was boots or a necklace. I know there's a necklace of Speak to the Dead, which is broken as shit in that game. But there were also like boots that gave you one use of Misty Step. And so you give that to your rogue as well as all of the ammunition. And so you could just teleport your rogue to a higher elevation place, like somewhere that's just elevated. And they just lay down sneak attack after sneak attack over and over again. That's another one. You know. Then there was, if you're looking for charisma, Jesus Christ. Charisma based, there's also the Bardic College of Swords, where you have all the sword techniques, and then there was a sword at the end of the game where you would add your charisma buff, your charisma modifier to the sword damage. If you had nothing in your offhand. But then also you could get the duelist fighting style from the College of the Swords, where if you only had one hand, you got bonuses this, there, and everywhere. And then there was a hat that had like +4 charisma on top of it. So you would hit like 3 or 4 times as a fucking bard, and you'd be able to like lay characters out. It's like, that shit's really fun for me though, right? Like, I completely respect that it's ruining the fun for people. I 1000% respect that this just that like, it's not fun, it's not what people want, you know. Sword Bard Paladin is very broken. Yeah, I mean, in that sense you could also do I mean, one thing I like doing with warlocks, just because warlocks are busted as fuck, is you could do College of Swords Bard with, again, the Hexblade Warlock, and then, you know, it's like, because instead of going Paladin, you're committing to a character with light armor. You can then have no armor and cast Mage Armor on yourself. And so then all of your item slots can be open for gear that's more reserved for mages, which buff up all of your charisma and your spellcasting abilities, which get factored into like Hexblade damage or College of Sword techniques. Something like that. And so then instead of like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's like instead of double dipping, you're triple dipping. You know? You guys are going to make me download Baldur's Gate again. I never did, what was it, the Dark Impulse, Dark Urge or something? I never did that one. I could do that. I could stream a Dark Urge on hard mode. That would not go over well. Dirge, Dark Urge, yeah. Hey. That was it. If you had enough strength and you went Tavern Brawler, like you went like Champion Fighter or something like that, so you had like 22 strength, you could pick people up and throw them at each other. That's what it was. Yeah. Basically, you turned your enemy into ammunition against the other enemies. The main character is a mouse that signs ASL to you? Huh. Moss the Forgotten Realm. Is it kind of like a Redwall Bloomborough kind of vibe? I'll have to say, please message that to me somewhere. You spec Karlak for that? Yeah. I remember that being fun. Huh. Okay, I desperately need to upgrade my summons. And then we are unfortunately going to kill Blade. Storybook and puzzle, yeah. Let's see. Ooh, wait, what do I want? What do I want? Oh, we want big bubble. More bubbles. Let's see. We need 25 in. I could do that. Redwall, and then, yeah, Terry Pratchett was another author I liked, just because people are asking about that. I wonder how much I could level here. Oh, I could do this. Oh, nope. And then I can have Big Bubble. Oh, I don't need 2 more slots. That's too many slots. Okay, maybe I unequip you. Yeah, let's hand over our bell bearings. I have not read Pierce Anthony. No. A lot of my reading has been nonfiction because I'm boring. Let's see. What? Oh, wait. What do I have? 1, 3, 2, none. 4 of those. Okay. What do we have? Upgrade wise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then great. Perfect. That's what you want to see with 12 golden runes. Hell yes. Okay. Let's make it happen. A one-shot based off of Redwall? That does sound like a shit ton of fun. Like, damn, dude. That sounds like a lot of fun. Nonfiction also helps your career. Yeah. Nonfiction, unfortunately, helps my career a lot more. I also have, like, a lot of baggage around reading, like, when I was a kid. Long fucking story. Like, I've been... So, okay. So, again, not trying to, like, humble brag or anything, but I am getting close to 1 million subs on YouTube. And I was thinking about doing, like, a face reveal and telling everybody who I am. For 1 million subs. Like, just doing, like, a live stream on the main YouTube channel. Every time I do a live stream on the YouTube channel, it's been a circus. Last time it was sort of a mess. But yeah, I was thinking about doing something like that. What are your guys' thoughts, if any? Hi, I really need her to be sitting right there so that I can upgrade my shit, please. If I sit here, will you move? Will you please move? Yes. Oh. Good to see you. I have you to thank. I can have please. Okay, that's yep. Oh, it's very hard. Yep. Okay. All right. Yep. That's the Dookie guy on the other side. We don't have to worry about him. Just yeah. If we could. Thank you. Damn. Do I want to do a face reveal? I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are going to be like, oh, he's so brave. You know, like that's the vibe I get. And I don't, the very few times I've met people in real life and told them who I was, or I found out who I was, they were like, oh, okay, yeah. I don't think I'm going to be recognized in public, dude. Like, oh, fuck, I didn't mean to do that. Hey, there we go. Okay, maxed out mimic tier. Curtsy. Oh, I didn't even know I got that. Yeah, I don't know that I'd be recognized in public. I don't know. My channel is super, super, super weird. Cause like I feel like the channel's doing like good, okay, you know, but I don't really make it outside of YouTube. Like even here on like Twitch, you know, my channel doesn't have any legs on any other social media platforms. And I feel like outside of, I don't know, a music school, I don't feel like people are going to be walking up to me on the street. You know what I mean? Post the composition I made. That could be fun. Once upon a time, I wanted to do like Super Collider live streams or live streams where I do like a live analysis of a piece of music. I thought that'd be a lot of fun. But I have to get like a drawing tablet or something because you guys are not gonna be able to read my handwriting from my mouse. You know. Cat reveal. Oh, Sarah has an Instagram for our cats. She will send it to you in the chat. That way you can see our cats in all of their glory. All right. Rematch, bitch. Get some. I always get hit by that. My shield is not shielding. Ow. Sir, you are being a dick. Rune arcs activate whatever great rune you have equipped. So after you kill a boss that drops a great rune, you go to their corresponding divine tower, activate the rune, equip it at a grace, and then when you use a rune arc, it activates an effect. So I have Godric's rune equipped, and because I have Godric's rune equipped, once I activate it with a rune arc, all of my stats go up by 5. So that's what you saw. Oh, I'm sorry. Why are my attacks not working? Oh, he was in a grab animation. That's why. It's very weird for me because, like, oh fuck, it's about to hurt. Yep. Like I this is something I really struggle talking about, right? But it's like I'll see a YouTuber with like 100,000 subscribers, and I'll be like, damn, I wish I was famous like them, you know? And it's like, oh, you know, you have a YouTube channel with a lot of subscribers on it. I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't feel like it, and I don't know why. And I don't know if it's some kind of like imposter syndrome or, I don't know, I'm just not wired properly. Oh, don't worry, Sarah's also allergic to cats. She goes in for weekly injections so that she could have our cats. And they have to eat the special food. Yeah. But yeah. So like, I always feel really insecure because it's like, I don't know, I always look at other content creators like that. It's like, oh, okay, like they're famous, and it's like, well, I guess I'm not, especially because I don't show my face, but also, I don't know. It feels really weird. It just feels really weird. And I wonder if like a face reveal and being more personal would change that, like telling people who's actually running the show. But then also like, there's also that fear where it's like, I'm going to tell everybody who I am. They're going to be like, you should have kept that to yourself, bud, you know? I imagine that's something a lot of people have to go through. It would be hilarious if I bumped into people who knew me like at Target, like just judging my grocery cart. Yeah, that's something. Yeah, August. That's something I've had people tell me where it's like, oh yeah, you're like, your channel's not built around personality or like interpersonality. I've had professors tell me that, and I'm like, yeah, but there's like a nicer way to word that. It's like there's, you know. The worst part is like now there are whispers of people being concerned that my videos are AI. Because there are a lot of AI channels now, and they're all faceless, and they all do the like glorified PowerPoint presentation like I do. And it's a huge bummer. Oh, dude, like college professors and academics have been by far some of the most rude, inconsiderate, and just talking about shit they don't know shit about. Unhelpful. Yeah, that is the other thing is like, I know everything has moved to TikTok, and I just can't do it. Like I've tried doing like a YouTube short while I was at grad school to like put something out on the channel during that huge gap, and I couldn't. It's like you have to. I like, people already claim that I talk really fast, and I do. but like you can't develop an idea in under 5 minutes. Like a really good sound idea or an argument. It's like I could talk about a scene maybe, but then that has to be within the context of like the framework and all that kind of stuff. It's just not in my bones. You know what I mean? No. I don't mean it's not integrity. It's just not, how do I put this? Hi Quiversel, how you doing? It's it, it's not no. It's not even about simplicity. It's if I cut it down, it stops making sense. You know, like I'm not like I am absolutely not trying to be like, oh my god, my content's just so complicated. It's so much better than no. It's like if I can't like build the argument the way it works in my head, it doesn't make sense, and it'll be like it's already really easy to like get some of my stuff out of context, and like TikTok and YouTube shorts would just make it that much harder for me. I feel like it's something I've seen other long form YouTubers struggle with, you know, like because like I have mad respect for those content creators who are making like 4-hour videos, like Defunct Land, right? Where it's just like I can't even imagine editing a video like that, let alone like structuring an argument that long. Like it's that, I mean, impressive doesn't do it justice. It's fucking crazy. Are you gonna get bigger? Yep. Fuck. Short form is incredibly hard to produce. It also, and this again, yeah, like you guys are right. This is something that I struggle with. Is like, it it does really rely on, I don't want to say personality, but like yeah, I don't know that personality is necessarily the way that I would put it, but definitely that kind of like interpersonal connection. You know, like the only TikToks that I see that don't have a person's face in them that are like funny and effective are those like super, it's kind of like hyper pop, but for video edits of sports, you know? Yeah, like it relies on a hook. It's got to be like attention grabbing, you know, and it's there's a cadence. There's a pace to it that I don't have, you know? Well, that's the other thing is if like I like, because again, believe me, I've had people in my emails being like, "Oh my god, let me do this for you, let me do that for you. Here's 9 channels that I've worked for, and I gave them all 7 jillion subscribers," and I'm like, okay, well, let's like think about this, let's work this out, and it's like I always get lost here. I don't know that me making like TikToks or YouTube shorts that are basically like advertisements would necessarily be the best thing, because I've seen those backfire spectacularly where people are like, wow, my favorite part of this was when you actually explained what happened, and then like, you know, they're like, I'm like, unfollow, I'm never following you again, this is like a waste of time, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I wanted to be cool 6'7", I'm sorry, you know, that it's weird, it's just weird. But I have to say, one thing, right? I'm just going to say the one thing. The one thing I like about TikTok is I have discovered a lot of music that I would otherwise never be exposed to. So it's, I mean, for that much, I mean, I could talk about that for hours, but like it's, you know. Oh, I thought that was a summon. It's not. I hope this gargoyle doesn't kill me. And some of the music is even good. You're right. Yeah, there's so much new music, and some of it's even not bad. I remember. Did you guys? Um, sorry. Whenever we talk about bad music, my brain always goes to like outsider music. If you guys know what that is, it's just music by people who haven't studied music. It's the whole thing. Um, but my brain always goes to that one Ask Reddit post about the dude with the one piece of music that everyone was like, "Oh yeah, this is hot garbage," and that was the music that he played when he had sex with his girlfriend. I don't remember what it was called because it was just like letters and numbers, but it was like the shittiest piece of music ever devised, and it was the funniest fucking thing ever. Seabat, yes. It was like a like something like that. He used it for the rhythm, yeah, and I'm like that like do you know what I mean? Where I'm like I need to see that. Like I cannot. My imagination isn't moving there. It's like, yeah, that's even more confusing. Yeah, it's yeah. It like I you know, so it was like dun 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 dun. I only know like the first four measures because it's all I ever listened to. Um, but when they're like, okay, yeah, he uses it for the rhythm, I'm like in 4/4, or are we talking like the phrasing? Because I mean I know that I have vertebrae that are fusing together. I'm not a particularly flexible individual, but that's the kind of thing that's the kind of thing that would make Shakira flinch. You know what I mean? Like how do you bend like that at that speed? Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, and the whole Ask Reddit was like his girlfriend asked him to stop, and then like even when he wasn't playing the music, she was able to tell that he was thinking of the music, and I'm like that I would that's a video I gotta see. That's a video I have to see. A video essay on phrasing. God, if I did it, I don't want to do a video on phrasing. No, 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 no. Because that gets into performance, and as soon as you start talking about performance, everyone's got an opinion on performance, and you're just like, I wouldn't want to. I'd rather do a video talking about AI music. It's just, it's like what was it? It's like playing chess against a pigeon. Like it doesn't matter what you say, they're gonna knock all the pieces off the board and shit in your face. It's like there are some videos where it's just not worth it because like the people who would be interested in it or the people who you're trying to reach will just not listen to you. You know, I don't know what I would have to say about AI or freezing or something like that, where it's going to be a bunch of people who like agree with me going, yeah, no, I think this is a good point. And then everybody who like would click on that video having initially disagreed with me would learn nothing and continue to disagree with me. Charlie Puth has an AI music class? Voss? What? What's going on? That sounds not good. That's gonna ruin my Friday. Does he really have an AI class? Say psych. Please say psych. $100? What part of? Okay, you know I correct me if I'm wrong here, but Charlie Puth has like perfect pitch, right? And he does that like Jacob Collier thing where everything they only ever talk about is music, and they have no personality outside of having perfect pitch and chord extensions. Like, you know, I all I see, the only content I see about Jacob Collier is how much people hate him. Which, on one hand, I'm like, I've been surrounded by people like Jacob Collier for a very long time, and so, like, I'm biased, extremely biased, because I'm kind of like, I don't know, inoculated to a certain sense. But there's also like that very human element of like, this is a person. Like, what did he do? And then it's like, yeah, if you don't know, like I have like, again, Jacob Collier is like one of those subjects where it's like, this is just not worth going near. But Charlie Puth I've seen in similar circles. Oh my god. The best, so this is Fender 2. The best part, you don't interact with Charlie or any real people. The AI tells you what to do and also judges and rates the music for you. Mm. Mm. Oh, Ethan's upset. That bothers the fuck out of me. Oh, that. Okay, hold on. Let me put this down so I don't accidentally hit her. Oh my god. Okay, this sucks. Cool. This, oh my god, this is great. This is great. This is, I'm who, how, why? Oh my god. Okay. Let's be discreet here. Let's be explicit. Okay. The thing the issue I've taken with Jacob Collier comes from a few of his videos that I've seen. I'm not intimately familiar with his work, but um the thing is like I saw a couple videos of him where he was talking about certain concepts. One of which I remember he was talking about fully diminished seventh chords. Now, one of the cool things about fully diminished seventh chords is that they are completely symmetrical, right? So they have 4 axes of transformation, right? If you plot them on a clock diagram, it's 12 3 6 9, right, or 0 3 6 9, right? That's nifty. Now, because the seventh chord is built off of the leading tone, and because it's perfectly symmetrical, whenever you have a fully diminished seventh chord for any reason, it serves as a pivot chord to 4 different places, basically, one for each note in the chord, right? You can have each note serve as the leading tone to another key signature in different contexts in different ways, which is cool. It's really cool. But that's something that we literally cover in Theory 1, right? I'm not talking about like just freshman theory. I'm talking about freshman theory first semester. And there was something about the way that he worded it in this video where people were convinced that he came up with it. And then like nobody said anything. There was another situation where he was talking about he was talking about microtonal voice leading. Microtonal voice leading, which is a thing, right? But again, it's like 150 years old. And again, I don't know if it's necessarily him or the comments or some like miscommunication, but people in the comments are like, oh my god, Jacob Collier invented microtonal notes or something like that. And it's the fact that there are all these concepts that are like freshman theory that he kind of plays off, or I don't know if he plays off or it's interpreted as him inventing it and him being like a super genius for being able to hear it, you know. Then there are the parts that are like harmful, right? And I've heard like John Baptiste have takes like this that have bothered me. I know that Jacob Collier does the was it Bobby McFerrin? Help me. Where it's like, oh, we're gonna have the audience singing in a pentatonic scale, and it's like, oh, the pentatonic scale is so stable. Oh my god, it's so stable. And nobody ever talks about like why it's so stable, right? It always turns into a video where it's like, oh my god, look at how magical music is and how beautiful music is, and oh my god, these people on stage must be geniuses because they get these random people to become musicians. Oh, it's amazing. And then it's like, hey, you know, we can talk about how the pentatonic scale is so stable. We can talk about it Like, we could talk about it through intonation, through tuning, temperament. We can also talk about it through how symmetrical it is as a set. We could talk about how it functions as a literal subset. We could talk about how it functions as a complementary set to the standard heptatonic, major scale. Like, there are a lot of things that we can have a conversation about. All of those, some of those are not freshman theory, but like, some of those are like really, really interesting concepts, and they're very normal, like super normal. Jacob Collier didn't invent them, didn't discover them. None of these other musicians invented them or discovered them. This is just the first time people are discovering them. But because the way it's framed online, it's like, oh my God, they're a super genius. And it's impossibly frustrating because I'm looking at it just like, dude, I had homework harder than this last week. You know what I mean? Hey, Phantom Adventures, we talked about all kinds of stuff. I'll be sure to put the VOD up though. Yeah, why did I get a master's degree? AI could do the job for me. God. That's the thing. They're so, like, AI is dog shit when it comes to music theory. It's beautiful. It's super, super beautiful. Is outsider music looked down in the community? That's a very complicated question. That comes like again, this is a big concept for a lot, but the way that I like to look at outsider music is it's basically music that does not fit into a musical tradition that has otherwise been established, right? That makes sense. They live outside, or they create music outside of an expected system, but you got to be really careful with that, right? Because if I live in America and I start studying Indian classical music, could we say that I'm an outsider musician because I'm doing music that is not of the musical traditions that are commonly associated with America? And then it turns into, well, hang on, what are the music traditions that are commonly associated with America? Well, let's look at film scores. It's all inspired by late romanticism. Why is that? Who cares? It's late romanticism, therefore it's European. America is European. And then it, every Fox News anchor creams their pants, and then we start talking about Mozart again. And so the thing is, right, if you're talking to an academic, a professor, a highly, I say homeschool kid as a joke, but like somebody who's really, really sheltered, right, and only listens to like the one thing, or only listens to like Mozart, has been raised around Mozart, has been told their entire life that Mozart's a genius, right? Any deviation from common practice period practices or techniques, they're going to look down on, right? So, it's one of those conversations where it's like, oh, this is racist. Okay, hang on. Is this racist because it's against skin color? Is this racist because it's systemic? Is it racist because it's coming from a place of privilege? Is it racist because it's actually attacking a nationality, not an ethnicity? Is this racist because it attacks a religion? Like how do we disambiguate this, right? So I can't give you a straight answer, but I will say that it's highly contextual, and you kind of got to keep your head on a swivel. You know what I mean? Charlie Puth's newest position as Chief Music Officer for the AI platform Moises. Am I gonna have to make a video about AI? Don't tell me I'm gonna have to make a video about AI. Moises AI for modern musicians. Ooh, for modern musicians. So everything I write is gonna sound like it's from the 60s? Here is somebody recording from their phone on a coffee table. That's not going to sound good. Your sound, any device. My problem with this is that nobody's going to learn why. You know what I mean? That's my problem. My problem is that nobody's gonna learn why, which is important, right? Oh, I sound shitty on this microphone. Why do I sound shitty on this microphone, right? Oh, this track doesn't sound good when these two things are layered on top of each other. Why? And then every time there's a problem, they're not the one fixing it. It'll be the AI fixing it. Like, okay, so say you have a guitar and a voice, right? On two tracks. Okay? It is very easy for the guitar and the voice to be in a similar frequency band. I'm not saying they're lining up one for one, but they will overlap. So, in your track, it's going to sound a little muddy when they're competing for the same space. So you're going to have to mix it a certain way. You're going to have to pick, do we want more guitar or do we want more voice? Which one is it? How and why? And that's a choice that you have to make. But in this situation, the AI is going to make that choice. And so if it doesn't sound the way that you want it to, you're still not going to understand why it doesn't sound the way that you want it to. That fucking sucks. Damn. I mean, that is the thing about that is the thing about generative AI, is that it is so highly recursive. You know, and like when you embrace that kind of recursion, you can see really cool things. You know, like you can make music out of feedback loops. That's fucking awesome, right? Tons of people have been doing that. People have been doing that for almost 100 years now, right? Which is cool. Like, genuinely, sincerely, really cool. Um but like, yeah, like, okay, so like when I was in my super collider class, we put Markov chains together, right? And so a Markov chain is it's baby's first AI, right? And so like I put together a series of Markov chains, and then I built a synth def that used format filters to sound like voices. And then I added, you know, a cavernous reverb that I made, which is not super difficult. And it and it, you know, I, with the Markov chains, you know, you talk about common practice period. It's pretty straightforward, and you know, it was a machine that I could just leave running indefinitely. But over time, those Markov chains, like if you look at it as a data set, which is what these AI models are doing, it averages out. Like the you know, you can average out frequencies, you can average out note choice and things like that, and it just becomes so uninspired, right? Like generic doesn't even begin to cover it. It turns into just like a single Fourier transformation at that point. Anyway, so like it like fucking sucks. It's just it's a lack of curiosity, I guess, that does it for me. It's like you just like, really, people just aren't interested in how it works. They just, you know, I don't know. It's like, what are my thoughts on audio dramas? I have no thoughts on audio dramas because I didn't know audio dramas were a thing until right now. What is an audio drama? I have an imagination of it. I mean, is it like a K drama, but it's just audio? Like, that makes sense. Is it kind of like a? Is it like? Hold on, I don't want to. Is it a radio show? Is it just like is it just a radio drama? But nowadays people have to call it audio drama. Yeah, old time radio theaters. Okay, like the original Superman show. Yeah. How much do I need to level? I'm carrying around too many runes. If I die, I'm gonna be pissed off. I'm gonna go level. Let's see. Edge really was supposed to be doing how to make living on purpose, not the AI. The picture pisses me off more because you said like curiosity, like when I learn self-loathing, one of these skills badly. Yeah, I mean, I've brought this up before, and this is something that like, this is one of those like taboo subjects that like I don't go near, you know. Um, and it's it's the idea of like the autodidact, right? Which is somebody who teaches themselves, right? Um, very romantic, very much just like look at me, the inspired genius, right? But I can say, as somebody who was raised without a lot of resources, you know, sometimes you don't have any other options, right? And that frequently is not what the conversation surrounds. The conversation, or what the conversation morphs into. The conversation always turns into, oh, look and so they're such a genius, they taught themselves something, right? And something that I experienced in going to school, and this was profound, right? I don't use that word lightly. This was a profound experience. Was I ventured very, very deeply into the I don't know what I don't know. Oh, you said AGDQ. Oh, ADDQ. I read ADGQ, the speedrunning thing. Anyway, so the thing is like I didn't know what I didn't know. So if you locked me in a library for like a like I don't know, like a whole year, I probably would have not walked out with the knowledge that I got from my Theory 1 class. I had no idea that existed. I had no idea that shit worked that way. I mean, putting together the fundamentals of music in the way that my classes did helped me get to where I am today, but it was specifically their perspective that did it for me. And it's the kind of thing, unfortunately, where I had to place a lot of trust in the institution because I looked at it going like, this is stupid. What am I going to learn about? What am I going to get from this? And looking back on it now, I'm like, no, I completely understand how that works as the fundamentals. And now I can build off of that. And beforehand, you know, you're building a house on sand. There's no foundation. There's no fundamentals. You know, like just asking questions like, what is a note? You know, things like that are really important. Yeah, so as much as I'm like, yeah, we need education, it's really important for that education to be guided because you can just waste a lot of time. You know, somebody who had a really great way of putting this was T-Pain. When this VOD goes up, I will try to find this clip just so you can hear it from his mouth. But he tells this story about how he was dying to be in marching band, some sort of percussion ensemble in school. And the auditions were in the fall, and so he spent all summer practicing. He practiced like crazy. Every single day he practiced, and he was obsessed with being able to make the audition, right? And so fall rolls around, he steps into the audition, he does it, and he's like, I fucking nailed it, right? And the teacher goes, you studied the wrong page, right? You read the audition incorrectly, and you prepared the wrong piece of music. It was like he prepared page 88, he was supposed to play the excerpt on page 89. Something as simple as that. And the whole moral of the story was like, you gotta make sure that you're practicing the right page, right? And so like, I'll see stuff online, right? Like, I'll see stuff online and I'll see people doing stuff, and I'm like, you could do this for the rest of your life and you're not going to make progress, right? You know, it's like people who go to the gym and they're like, I'm just going to lift the heaviest weight I possibly can, and pain is weakness leaving the body, right? I was raised around dudes like that. And it's like, if you do that, you're going to hurt yourself, you're going to cause permanent damage, and you're not going to make the same kind of progress that somebody using a little bit less iron, but who knows how to move it and how to do reps, you know? Yeah. No. I'm not advocating for just like going to the gym and just like I'm gonna try and move a car, you know. But it's yeah, that's the point, you know. And so like I see that online. I especially see it with people teaching. Like again, I don't want to don't want to step on toes, don't want to piss anybody off, but like I see that a lot with the guitar community. Because the guitar community, I was just looking at this today, it's just saturated with, oh, you want to learn the guitar? You always wanted to learn to play the guitar? Here you go. Again, coming back to like TikTok, here's a 30-second video that'll give you everything you need. And again, if you've been around my live streams, you know that I have friends that have suffered permanent nerve damage from improper technique, from some other horrible struggle, right? And you know, there's not a lot that you can do about it now. Here's 3 chords in a strumming pattern. It's like, yeah, but like, why do those 3 chords work? And if you grow to learn why those 3 chords work, you can then add chords or take chords away as you want to. You know. Yeah, nerve damage is crazy. I know a kid in my undergraduate who detached a muscle in his back. I know of one person, a flute player. Again, all these people shall remain nameless, but a flute player who completely lost feeling in her right arm, like shoulder to fingertip, gone. And you know, she had to do a lot of physical therapy, and it's because she was a flute player. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons. The big one that you hear is tension. Having tension in your body. Because you gotta understand that when you're practicing a piece of music, you're doing this thing for you're doing something 1,000 times in a row, right? You're doing something 1,000 times in a row, and it's laborious, and it's how do you put this? You're basically getting like like a controlled repetitive strain injury, you know. Um, and so there's all kinds of schools of thought on like relaxation. I'm going the wrong way, and you know, making sure that you're only engaging certain muscles, like how to sit at a piano bench. Every instrument's going to have its own issues. So again, for a flute player, if you think about your right arm is sticking up, you know, and if you're going to play for, I don't know, a 4-hour show, you know, you need to make sure that you're not like tensing that shoulder. Otherwise you're going to have like a problem. What drives somebody to work that much? That's a really complicated question that like you kind of have to get answered once you get there. You know, it's sort of like, you know, like what drives an Olympian to end up with stress fractures by the time they're my age. You know, and I mean, I think the best shortest answer is passion. You know, which I respect. You know what I mean? And so that's the thing is it's like, oh fuck, I do not want to fight this guy. But it's like if you see somebody with that much passion and that much drive, right? I mean, like I talk to Sarah about this all the time. It shatters me. It fucking it hurts whenever I see somebody who is putting in the work, but they don't have the resources or the understanding to like fully grasp what they're doing, and they're doing something that can hurt themselves, right? So like, you know, the part that bothers me is it really reminds me of me. You know, I think about, you know, if I had a music teacher growing up, if I had, you know, if I had certain advantages that I've seen other people have, oh my God, how cool would that have been for me growing up? Yada, yada, yada. And so like I see, and like that was like a big motivator behind my YouTube channel, where it's like, hey, if you're stuck completely by yourself and you don't have any access to anything anywhere, here's a couple thoughts, you know? And so like, you know, it happens a lot with like children singing. You know, but, oh my god, look at the magic, look at the talent, oh my god, this, that, and the other. And it's like, do they have a teacher? Are we making sure that they're like breathing properly? You know, like you're not giving them any lactose. Like, what are we taking care of this child properly? Like I know like Justin Bieber went through that. I want to say Justin Bieber's parents' mom was a vocal coach. And so like taking care of his vocal folds, his vocal cords while they were on tour was like a huge priority for her, which, you know, hats off. That's super fucking cool, right? Because it wasn't just like, oh, you know, we need this kid to be singing in order for this show to be on the road, but it was also just like taking care of, just making sure that he's fucking okay, you know? And that doesn't happen. And so like I I did this with Sarah once, just to give you an idea of how weird this is. I sat down with Sarah and like talking about phrasing, right? I was basically like, hey, so you know when you see those videos of like a fetus sitting at a piano and they're playing the most complicated piece ever? Well, here's all the things that they're doing wrong and how you can tell they're doing it wrong. And then if you follow their career and see them as an adult, you could see that they were never able to actually grow and get better at this because they weren't surrounded by people who were looking out for them. And so we ended up doing like blind listening, and I was like, all right, can you tell me if this is somebody, you know, XYZ or not? And it ruined music for her for a week. Is that right? Yeah, she just said yes. It's a thing. It's a thing. And so yeah, so like, you know, sitting there and going like talking about concepts without really getting into it. It's one of those things that just fucking gets me, man. All right, doggy. Ow, ow. That's lava. Lava hot. Sarah, write that down. Yeah, lava hot. Get off the horse, please. Thank you. Have I ever played a hurdy-gurdy? I have not played a hurdy-gurdy. It looks like fun, though. What made me make a video about organs and why they're scary? I fucking love Halloween. Is this a challenge run? No, it's kind of like an arcane run. Sort of. Yeah, no, I fucking love Halloween. And I was always hearing organs during Halloween. Like, my birthday's also near Halloween, you know? So it's just like, I want to make a video about this. Because I used to get people being like, why is this scary? Why is that scary? And like, everything they were asking was just like, why is this organ piece scary? Why is that organ piece scary? And I'm like, here's why organs are scary. Yeah, you know, why they're so imposing, I guess. Oh, Philosophy Tube wanted to give her degree away. I mean, I haven't watched a Philosophy Tube video in a minute. I know that she's like a big like Hollywood actor now. So I don't, you know, but oh my god, when was the last Philosophy Tube video that I watched? I don't know. I haven't watched a video essay in a minute, guys. Like, for real. Yeah, no, I saw that she was... Well, I saw her in Acolyte. And then I know she's in Game of Thrones 2 Electric Boogaloo. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Huh. But yeah, no, and it's not necessarily giving the degree away. Because if it was giving the degree away, I'd be spending a lot more time, like, analyzing pieces. Haha! Time for a critical strike now, sir. But it was very much about, like, you know, trying to give people resources who might not otherwise have resources, you know. Yeah, Halloween feels like one of those secular holidays, you know? Like all of the huh?
Unless you're Jehovah's Witness.
Unless you're apparently a Jehovah's Witness. All right, we got that one. But but yeah, no. It feels very 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 secular, kind of like the Yuletide stuff from Christmas. You know, basically all the stuff that isn't in the Bible. Oh, that's right. You can stand here and talk to him. Sir.
I hardly think you're. I've been taken.
Yeah, jar. Halloween comes from Ireland, but you guys take it to the next level. Well, okay, yeah, because Halloween is the day before All Saints Day, right? Which is November 1st, and so because it's the day before All Saints Day, it's where all of the demons and such come out to be mischievous. St. Patrick's Day is an American holiday. There's one. You know, I feel like I don't know so much about Easter. I don't know that Easter's been fully secularized, but I do know.
No, it was fucking lifted.
Huh?
Easter was stolen from the...
Well, hold on. I know that Easter is really important to the Jesus story. Like in an explicitly Christian sense, Easter is as important as Christmas. Christmas is the birth. Jesus is the death, or Easter is the death and resurrection of Jesus, right? But I mean, like, more in terms of secularism. You know, Christmas is a huge howdy do because capitalism.
Yeah.
And then Easter's like chocolate.
Yeah, Easter's still more Christian.
Yeah.
Not forever, but right now.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Historically, no, but currently, yes.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page. Important to the Jesus story. Hey, this is critical Jesus lore. All right. The New Testament is the sequel. All right. And then the Book of Mormon makes it a trilogy. All right. Falls off in the third act, but hey, it is what it is. Updated version's got the Easter Bunny reincarnating. Reincarnating the Easter Bunny means we have to kill the Easter Bunny. You understand that, right? Let's do it! Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, I've heard like, cuz I mean, fun fact about me, when I was a teenager, I was hard into the whole like Reddit atheist thing. I was big into it. I was like, church is just a book club. You know, like I was a shit little kid, dude. That was me. I was in the turbo atheist group, you know. Still am, but you know, I was when I was a kid. I'm kidding. I'm just now I know how to read a room, I think. Book of Mormon is fan fiction. That's Scientology. Scientology is fucking fan fiction. There you go. Oh my god. I think I'm going to dragon this stuff. Dragon these nuts. Shagnostic? What? No. I'm not agnostic at all. I know what team I'm playing for. Ugh. And it's the it's that, hey, you know, limited time, we got to make sure that all kids get food. Please. How about some ice? Kia! Whoops. You made me put my sword away. Uh-oh. When you can, like, see an attack coming, but you don't have any frames for it, you're just like, this is about to suck. Yay, give me the memory. Yes. Butchered his name? I always butcher your name. Oh, Shaq Gnostic. I'm not. I don't know that. Believing only in Shaquille O'Neal. All right, I'll do that. I'll do that.
No, he's a piece of shit too.
Shaquille O'Neal's a piece of shit.
No, Shaquille O'Neal. I'm thinking of Shaq. Yeah, no, Shaq. Yeah.
What does Shaq do?
He supports this like hyper-religious, like have as many children as you possibly can. Abortion is evil family.
I thought he was one of those give to charity guys.
Yeah, it's selected charities, including the abusive parents.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Like,
It's a fundy group that the subreddit follows.
no. Damn it. Really? Fuck. I didn't know. Man, can't have shit.
It's true. You can't have shit.
Charlie Puth's doing AI. Shaq sucks. Man.
Screw this shit. I'm going home.
Yeah, screw this shit. I'm going home. Every celebrity is being ruined today. God. All I need is for like one of the Disney princesses to come out and just be like, actually, the live action remakes are really good. That's it. You're gonna hear about some fucking butt naked fat ass running through the streets of Denver on news. Like, what?
Pointed out my 13th reason.
My 13th reason. There you go. Man, I didn't know that.
Sorry, I didn't mean
Oh, dude. Sassy Catastrophe. Do you know about Adam Savage, though? There's something of an issue with him. Heard an argument that the Cinderella was good live action and everything else is ass. I haven't watched the live actions. I haven't seen that live action Cinderella. I know there's like 19 Cinderella movies. Yeah, I can't tell you about that particular individual on the stream. Sassy Catastrophe, I would just say look him up and his sister. It's a difficult read. It is a very, very difficult read. Yeah, it fucking killed me. Alright, what am I doing? The lava breath can do shit tons of damage in the right context. I need the swaddling cloth. That's what I need. Yeah, can't have shit in this economy. Absolutely, dude. Can't have shit anywhere. Fuck. Yeah, the Adam Savage one killed me. Bill Cosby fucking got me. Like Bill Cosby fucking hit me hard because when I was a teenager, I had all of his I would like watch all of his stand up, you know, not just his like shows or like his Fat Albert and all that kind of stuff, but like I like watched like his stand up and I had his routine like memorized and shit, dude. And so when I found out about that, it was like denial. I was like, no, and then like it got into it. And I was like, fuck. It's like it's not just real, but it's like real. You know what I mean? That one fucking sucked. That one sucked. If I don't know what it's been, but like in the online content creator community or world, I just feel like it's been like disappointment after disappointment. You know what I mean? There's just been all kinds of news about all kinds of shitty things. It's been really, really upsetting. Yeah. I don't think there's been another one as bad as Bill Cosby. You've only known him as a monster. So the thing that makes the Bill Cosby stuff so egregious, right, is that Bill Cosby had a reputation as a family man with the Cosby Show with his sweater, right? And then Fat Albert. Kids Say the Darndest Things was a show where it was just him and kids, and he would interview kids and it would be funny, right? He was good with that. But the one thing that that set Bill Cosby apart was his stand-up was clean, right? So, you know, you can have clean comedy where there's no cussing and there's no anything. And then you can have just kind of like regular comedy where you're going to have some comedy. And then you can have what's called working blue. And if you're working blue, you're specifically talking about like The Shocker, Two in the Pink, One in the Stink, right? That's, you know. And so not only did Bill Cosby work clean in that you could bring a Mormon family to his comedy show, he would specifically go after people who cussed on stage. One of the big ones was Richard Pryor. And Richard Pryor is a fucking legend. Like he was hilarious. He was I mean I hang on. Let me see if I can Richard Pryor was 5 Grammys. There you go. Yeah, he died in 2005. He did all kinds of stuff. He was in Blazing Saddles, or he was co-writer for Blazing Saddles. He was an amazing comedian, gifted comedian, even like absolutely brilliant. And Richard Pryor was one of the people that Bill Cosby was basically like saying like, hey, you don't need to like say all this filth. You don't need to do this. You don't need to do that. At least that's what I remember. I could be wrong with that. That is what I remember. And so for the Cosby stuff to come out, it's not just that it's horrifying. It is, right? It's terrible. It's very, very bad. But there's this added element of hypocrisy. It kind of serves as salt in the wound almost. I don't know if that's an appropriate way of putting it, but that was the added context for Cosby, unfortunately. You know, the other thing is, like, I remember there was one rumor that I think it was Cosby, I could be wrong, that Cosby like paid for one of the like the PA speakers for a Martin Luther King speech, like for the rally. Like Bill Cosby was the one who financed it or something. You know, it was almost, I don't want to say O.J. Simpson because it's, you know, apples and oranges, but it was almost like an O.J. Simpson thing where it's like, you can't believe that someone that universally loved could be so evil. America's Dad's a good way to put it. America's Dad. Yeah. The skinny one, I always fare better than the fat one. He says as he gets slammed. And Huh. All right. Uh-oh. No me gusta. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this. Shit. Survive, mini-me. Heal. Top yourself off. Please, do something. Fart. Come on. Yeah. Oh, fuck off. I hate the big ones. The big ones I can't do. There's something about them that just, like, it doesn't work with the code in my brain. Shit. Hey! The big ones take so little damage, and there's something about, like, how much poke they have and how awkward the timing is. And then this ability is just bullshit. Oh, no, yeah, the rolling one. Where it's like, until you get hit, they just keep rolling. We're gonna bubble them. Bloop, bitch. Please roll into it. Nope. Damn it. How do they do so much damage? He's gonna slam me. Haha! Oh, they have input read? For real? I would believe it. The roll is disgusting. There's one combo where it's like a triple poke and then one final poke, and the timing is literally impossible to dodge. Like the only way it's like a millennia waterfowl dance almost. Every time you drink, they throw a fireball. Yeah, I get that. I could definitely see that happening. I wonder if some speedrunner somewhere has figured out a way to manipulate that. Haha. Immediate reactions. Yeah, that's pretty much the same. All right, swaddling cloth pleasing. Thank you. Yes. Yes. So this, right? Successive attacks restore HP. The cool thing with this weapon, when you do this, every single one of those hits will heal you. So your weapon skill now heals you. This weapon's kind of broken with this build. That, and then we need the Rotten Sword Insignia? Is that right? Winged Insignia. Yeah, Rotten Winged Insignia. Because once you get that, every consecutive attack deals increasing damage. And so those two things combined when you do the weapon. Then we need the Talisman from EG. Because that reduces the FP of skills. So like those three things combined are like fully broken with this weapon. Yeah, it heals you, does crazy amounts of damage, and it takes less damage. Oh yeah. And Alexander's Great Shard. Yeah, thank you for reminding me. Alexander's Great Shard is an excellent addition to this. So you just have to go to the Crumbling Farm Missoula because we spoke to him in the lava. And then we're going to have to kill the Godskin Duo, which I hate. Kind of like a Jedi. It's very similar to a Jedi. Like, especially the boss that comes from this. Like, it glows red and he has a grab attack. It's kind of like, feels a little Vader-y. Okay, let's get this. And then... Oh, we got to go up the mountain to get Rivers of Blood. We got to do that. And we'll talk to Millennial later. Everyone calls him Vader and Night Rain. Okay, hold on. I don't know. I don't want to be a dick here. So don't call me out if I'm being a dick. First off, in Night Rain, the Bell-Bearing Hunter, right? Who is the Mariah Executioner, whatever you want to call it, right? The Bell-Bearing Hunter is a horseshit fight. It is so hard. It's in the basement. I've been in runs where it's like people will literally see him and be like, dope, we're gonna go the other way. We're not clearing castle on this run. Right? Or at least not until like night 2. Which reminds me, and I don't know if anybody else has been seeing this, but it was the highlight of my year. Has anybody watched Burnt Peanut play Night Rain? It was I want to say last week. It was him, Cloaksy, and Summit?
I think so.
Was it Summit?
I think it's so.
And they were playing Night Rain, and they played Night Rain all night, which for them is like 8 hours. They did not clear a single run. I don't even know if they saw the boss once that night. And as Peanut let everybody know, they got worse as the night went on. I don't remember the last time I had that much fun watching a stream. The Fortnite character Burnt Peanut. Yes, the VTuber Burnt Peanut. Yeah.
YouTuber.
Oh, PTuber. Right. Sorry, PTuber, not VTuber. God, my bad. They weren't playing any depth. It was unranked. So like depth 0 basically. They I think Peanuts touched the game a couple times once before. Yeah. I almost peed my pants. It was very funny. He would kind of like an anime character, he would scream out every time he ulted. It was amazing. Not to ruin another celebrity, aren't they like super problematic? Burnt Peanut? No, what did Burnt Peanut do? Oh, fuck off. Really? Like, tell me if it's bad, because I don't, but are they really? Are you for real right now? I swear to God. Can't have shit. What did they do? What do you say? Like, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. Oh. I've seen he does have slur Saturday, but the joke is that they don't say slurs. At least that's my understanding of it. They don't say slurs on Slur Saturday, right? It's like a joke. I thought that was the joke. Haha! Stop rolling. It's inconvenient. I know this is how you get Rivers of Blood. I never run katanas. I don't know what it is. My brain just does not work with them. What the fuck was that? Oh man, he's getting bubbled. You've completed 2 minutes of captioning. Hooray! Dude, I cannot imagine having to subtitle it for a living. That sounds terrible. Do I have a VOD of me telling that crazy nightmarish wedding story? Is that the wedding story with the brony? Is that the one you're talking about? If it's the one with the brony, I'm pretty sure it's in a VOD somewhere on the VOD channel. But they actually recently got divorced, so get fucked. Yes, that was a day that I existed. It's also edited footage from a video podcast. I hate editing myself. I know what I do for a living, okay? I do. I really do. Fucking hate listening to my voice. I know I'm in the wrong field. Like, should have picked a different job there, bud. Sir, could we... Okay, this is horseshit. You love editing. Editing for me, like actually making the video, is why you guys don't get a video every 2 weeks. Okay, if I had some sort of cyberpunk implant, okay, and I could just upload the data from my head, not even that. If I had like an actor, like a face for the show, and then I had an editor, and then I had a videographer, and then I had a director, and I was just the writer, you'd be getting a video every 2 weeks. I am not kidding. I am not a performer. I never have been. I never will be. I do not like going on stage. It's the one thing that really throws people off when I tell them what I do. They're like, you don't like performing? Why'd you get a music degree? It's like, because I like music, not performing. Duh. And then I hate hearing the sound of my own voice. Long story there. Not a fun one either. And and then when it comes to actually editing the video, I ask Sarah. It takes me like an extra week just to open the fucking program. Wait, Asmongold defends burnt peanut? How? What? What program do I edit in? Oh. If I tell you, you can't judge me. I will tell you what program I use, but you cannot judge me. You cannot hate me. You will not judge me. You say that. You say that.
You don't know what you're agreeing to.
You don't know what you're agreeing to. Windows Movie Maker. Let me kill Bloody Finger Okina. I actually have it right here on my desk. Okay. Okay. Actually, no, wait. Let me get this ancient dragon smithing stone so I don't forget it, because I will forget it. It just guys, just take a deep breath, because this is about to suck. Speaking of, people who are massive disappointments, you're all about to hate me. We talk about this every once in a while, and it's a thing. All right. So, when I was an undergrad, and I graduated in 2014 from my undergrad, just so you know, I bought a used Yeti microphone, Blue Yeti microphone. It was used when I got it, right? That is the microphone that I have recorded everything on, every single video, and it is currently the microphone that I'm speaking into. This microphone was used when I got it, and as of right now, it is 14 years old. So we're just going to start with that. Okay? All of my audio editing, I do in Audacity for free. It is not a new version of Audacity. It is an ancient version of Audacity. It's a very specific edition that I do not upgrade, and I do not connect to the internet. I specifically went out of my way when I switched to my newer computer to get the exact same version to keep all of the exact same settings. The program that I use, or actually, sorry, I would write all of my scripts in WordPad, which is the free version of Word. I have Word now, though, because I had to for grad school, and I graduated in 2024. It was also the year we got married. Good year. The program that I use is, I have it here. I'm not kidding. I have it here in a CD sleeve. With the serial number activation code. It says Movie Studio Application Disc. And it is by it's by Sony. In the CD sleeve, there is an activation code. When I got my new computer, I also got an external Asus CD drive, which is also sitting on my desk, so that I could install this on my new computer. I have been using, I shit thee not, literally the exact same microphone, audio editing software, and video editing software for every single video I have ever made, including every VOD, every podcast appearance, everything. I've never changed. It's been this weird, superstitious phobia that I have, that I'm gonna upgrade something, and then like if I'm gonna get like a Shure SM7 or whatever the fuck, and people are gonna look at me and they're gonna be like, "Oh, dude, I didn't know you sounded like that. That's awful." I'm worried that I'm gonna get like a better program, and then I'm gonna edit better, and then the videos will lose some kind of rustic charm or some shit like that. I don't know. It was made for Vista. Ah!
Welcome.
Oh my God. DaVinci Resolve is free. I'll look into that. Hold on. Let me. DaVinci Resolve, best video audio editing software. And DaVinci Resolve is kind. Please understand, I have Ableton, I have FL Studio, I have Reaper. Like, I have other audio editing softwares. I can do all kinds of stuff with audio. I have a master's in it.
This surely should
I just hate recording things. Pressing things onto vinyl is such a hassle. Yeah, August, that's a great way to put it. I used iMovie in grad school for a project, and I was like taken aback. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And it was the shit that came free with the computers. I have revealed unto you my shame. Okay? It's also why I haven't hired an editor. Yeah, that and I say this to everybody who will listen, and it's completely fucking true. I know that I'm a nightmare. Okay? I know that I am a pain in the dick to work with. Okay? I ask Sarah. Okay? She knows best.
I plead the fifth.
She just said that she pleads the fifth. I will wake up in the middle of the night. This is not me trying to say that I'm magical. Oh, I dropped my controller. This is far more indicative of some sort of serious mental health issue. I have dreams where I dream of things that I forgot to add to my scripts. And so it'll be like 3:00 in the morning. I will wake up and go and sit down and put in like 2 or 3 hours of work in. Right? And the video files are huge. I have 3 solid state drives, and I have every piece of footage I've ever like screen captured. I have every video I've edited. I have every video that I have re-edited and every edition that I've re-uploaded, because I've run into so many video corruption issues with all of these shitty programs. And also, I don't really know what I'm doing, so I don't want shit to go wrong, because I've had videos where shit goes wrong and I've had to like start over, and that makes me cry, and I don't like doing that all the time. I also have 2 external hard drives that, 2 external solid states that serve as crazy backups. That's like my whole library. I can, if my YouTube channel gets sent to Alpha Centauri or some shit, I can completely re-upload my channel with every video right now as it is. Bro, you don't need to live like this. That's your brain being an anxious asshole. God. Oh, do I tell them?
Sure.
God, guys, it's like learning your favorite musician uses a cat keyboard. One of these days, I will tell you who I am. I will tell you where I'm from. I can tell you where I was raised and how I was raised, and every question you've ever had about this mutant freak that screams about musical movies on the internet will make sense. I promise. I'm going to tell you everything about me, and you're just going to be like, oh, okay, that's dark. And then you're going to be like, okay, cool, got it. All right, well, in the meantime, I'm going to stuff my face, eat my feelings, and I'm going to get back to work. I can't wait for the draw my life. Oh, my God.
I remember that. Oh my god, that was a callback. What
Oh, a draw my life would be like 9 hours long.
Oh my god, what year is this? I'm feeling so. Oh god. I feel personally attacked.
Wait.
Now.
Sarah, I'm asking my wife, because she's gonna be less biased than I am. If I drew a draw my life with everything in it, how long would it be? She's thinking.
We'd have to trim it down a little.
Yeah, we'd have to trim it down.
I feel like we could get it in an hour.
1 hour.
I feel like we could get it. Like, if we just focused on the highlights, we could get it in an hour.
Just an hour. Before and after Colorado.
No, just leading up to the start of the YouTube channel.
Oh, leading up to the start of the YouTube channel. Yeah, I could see that. I have to edit it. Yeah. Draw my life with his own music in the background, and it's just like white noise. Oh my god.
Well, it's dinner time. We have kitties.
Yeah, it's dinner time, and the kitties are about to get very, very upset. BC and AC before Colorado and after Colorado. Yeah. All right, folks. I'm gonna head out. You guys have been absolutely spectacular. Thank you for all the gifted subs. Thank you for everything. Oh, Sarah wanted to.
I was trying to scoop the cat.
Sarah wanted to bring a cat to be on stream. Popsicle's always very quiet, so you're not going to hear him.
You know, we look here and we over here and everybody else that say that.
Yep, Popsicle's right here. Oh, wait, shake his bell. That's so quiet.
He's a fairy. I got fairy bells.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard that at all. All right, no, thank you for the subs, thank you for the follows, thank you for tuning in, just thanks for hanging out, guys. I really appreciate it and love all of you. It's dangerous out there in my country. It's also very hot in there on Earth. Stay hydrated, stay cool, stay safe. Sometimes just surviving is the best form of protest, right? Okay, I love you guys all so much. Please stay safe. Bye.